the worst. Am I right?
Sean is Sean is enjoying his time in a tropical, exotic location.
Yeah, he's off in some banana republic.
and we just had a minor technical difficulty just before we went live, and typically Sean would know how to fix it, and so did we too. So
well, we figured it out. No thanks to Sean's instructions, which were super fucking wrong. And so, for those of you who missed the first part because it wasn't live yet,
we did a whole thing just before this. Let's begin again. Right. Happy Friday, Twos. I'm
Happy
Lise
Friday,
Merle.
Lise.
Thank you,
everybody. Lise Merle is joining us here live, and it's weird. I'm not getting any of the counts up top of anybody watching, and no chats have come in at all. I'm beginning to doubt whether we're even on or not. Okay. I think we are just probably not in the regular places. Okay, they moved the counter around, so people are watching. Okay. Yes. All right. Okay. So Lise Merle from Rebel is and here we go. Joe Mama says hi too. So obviously
hi.
people.
Okay, it's working.
Yes,
it's working.
We are actually live. Okay. Excellent. Lise Merle's from the easy to draw, hard to spell province, Rebel News, frequent guest of the show, one of my favorite people. Thanks for joining us this week.
Oh, well, I'm delighted to be here Tuesday, and happy Friday to the Mashup fam. I'm just eager to see what Twos has lined up. Twos had a whole schedule for the show today. And he was like, do you want me to send it to you? I was like, yes, absolutely. And then he sent it to me, and I had to download a special app to see it. And
really?
I was like, this is where, yeah.
Microsoft Word.
Yeah. I have to get a Teams account or something. I'm like, this is where I check out. Nope. So we're flying blind today, Tuesday.
All right. Okay. Well, so, I mean, we always start off by saying Happy Airborne Friday. Everybody who served. If you guys have any community notes or events or whatever like that, put them in the comments. We'll talk about them at the end. And we may as well hit the ground running with the Coots 6.5, where we talk about stupid things in the justice system that don't really make a lot of sense, given the fact that the guys at Coots got 6.5 years. And also, they just don't make sense on their own, but especially in light of that. So, first off, 4 charged after $2.3 million in suspected fentanyl seized in Brampton probe. Now, interesting thing, we've got 4 people arrested. We've got 20-year-old Navjot Singh. We've got 23-year-old Atarveer Singh. We have 21-year-old Bawinder Singh. And we have 21-year-old Manpreet Singh, all being arrested for a bajillion things of fentanyl.
Yeah. Those are standard Canadian. Sorry, I'm getting really bad feedback too.
Wait. I probably know what that is. Sorry, give me a sec here. Yes. So there's some kind of a glitch where if I don't mute the screen playing, for some reason it'll do like a feedback loop. And so it should be good now.
Okay. Oh, it is. There we go. Yeah, these are totally 100% standard Canadian names that you just read off there, Twos.
Yep.
The list of top 100 baby names include those ones now. And so I don't know what we're surprised by here.
Yeah, I guess this probably
industry
isn't
that they're involved in.
It probably isn't even news. I don't know why we're still talking about it. I mean, it's just like my favorite song lyrics of all time. Sing with me, sing for the years, sing for the laughter, sing for the tears. And every time we talk about some mass arrests in this country, for some reason, it seems to apply.
Oh, now, I'm never not going to sing that song in my head now when I read these stories. Yeah. Thanks.
Oh, that's exactly it. You're just going to be thinking about Aerosmith every time you see the news, especially in places like Brampton and Sudbury.
Oh,
and Surrey.
Right.
Surrey. So anyway, in other news in the justice system, man arrested after 15 people sexually assaulted at St. John Senior Care Facility. They arrested a 69-year-old man uh, for sexually assaulting more than a dozen people. They arrested the unnamed man, who was later released and placed on conditions. He sexually assaulted 15 senior citizens in an old folks' home.
Mhm.
They're not releasing his name, and they let him out on bail.
They sure did because if just envisioning that isn't horrifying enough,
Mhm.
uh, two-thirds of Alzheimer patients are women, and that's who would have been in this facility requiring care. And so this is a man who sexually violated
Mhm.
Alzheimer's patients, people's
Yep.
grandmothers
Yeah.
in care. And I read that he was a family member of a resident who also resided in the building. So he got access to all of these people because he had a family member in the facility. So there was no safeguarding between him seeing his family member and him having access to everyone else's grandmothers. But
Jeez.
without question, I'm just going to call it right now. This is a 69-year-old that probably has the sketchiest track record, had all the red flags all of
Mhm.
these years, and this is where it was exposed. But it does show the vulnerability of warehousing our old people. Okay, old people should not be warehoused in state-run facilities. They should not. They should not. They're
Absolutely not.
mistreated. And so also what's staggering is how often this is probably happening and it's completely unreported. Like it
Yep.
goes under the radar because nobody is paying attention to these vulnerable women.
No, I mean, abuse of the elderly, it's not exactly a new topic at all. And I'm sure it goes a lot of times unreported because it's, to be honest, Alzheimer's patients, and B, am I hearing an echo now too?
Are you? Testing.
Okay. I don't know.
Testing. Okay.
Anyways, um, also B, the fact that they can just get in and out and be on their way. It's crazy. It's insane.
Yes.
The other thing is the fact that this man was unnamed, and that stands out as a big red flag. Do you remember maybe about 6 months ago in some place just outside of Toronto where a woman was playing with her kids in the backyard with
Mhm.
water guns, and they shot the water gun over the fence and got and their neighbor pressed charges for assault with a weapon,
Yes.
and they
Yes.
released her name, and she was looking down the barrel of getting fired and all kinds of crazy stuff because
Mhm.
she was having a water fight with her kids in her backyard, and some of that water went over the fence.
Mhm.
Her name got put into the paper.
Yeah.
This guy's name did not.
Yeah. It will eventually. But I think the reason why it didn't is it if his relative was also a victim,
Mhm.
uh, they would have to be really, really careful about identifying him and then accidentally identifying the relative who was also a victim. Maybe that could be an explanation, but it will come out in the wash. Details will come out in the wash. His entire life is going to be picked apart. Every
Mhm.
single one of his relatives is going to be looked at in regard to this situation, and well, somebody's going to have to explain how this happened.
Absolutely, and while that is a potential explanation, Lise, I would suggest that perhaps, so the media in this country really prides itself on being factual and correct as much as possible,
Mm,
and he probably had a name that was very difficult to spell, and they didn't wanna take the chance on getting it wrong, which is
could
why so
be.
often with these things, they don't tend to release the names of people. It's just because 'cause they're
One
just really difficult to
100%.
spell.
100% could be, and they could also be, I mean, it could also be looked at like shielding the aggressor
Mhm.
from the community knowing who he is. So it could be looked at as a public safety. But listen, if this guy who was just arrested for granny abuse
Mhm.
is in my backyard, I want to know about it.
Well,
Like
I
I
mean,
absolutely
and
want to know
that's the
about it.
thing, is that people are gonna be really upset about that, and they're probably
Mhm,
gonna be very angry about it, and
mhm.
the thing that really worries me is if we actually start releasing the names of the people who do these sort of things, what kind of repercussions are they going to face for raping grandmothers?
Well, exactly this. Exactly this.
Okay,
Um,
next one.
yeah.
Next one. Okay, this is the last one on crime in this country this week.
Okay.
Parole Board of Canada released another gem. John Ross Cody, formerly Peter John Peters, granted day parole despite being moderate to high risk for violent and sexual offending. In January 1990, he fatally stabbed and strangled a woman before going to a second location where he killed a man by bludgeoning him with a metal pipe. This is the guy. Look at that mullet and tell me that that doesn't scream red flags. This guy
Um,
just got released. He's out. He's out. What's the worst could happen? What's the
you know,
worst that could happen?
this is obviously an old photo. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
this is at the time of his arrest. Why aren't they releasing photos of him as he looks today?
that would be
That was
important.
in 1990. You know, it would be helpful to know what he looks like today. Because again, if he's moving into my backyard, I want to know about it.
I'm just gonna stay away from everybody with a mullet. I think that's a good policy in general.
He could
Uh,
have got a haircut in all those years too. I
yeah.
know.
Well, okay, see, here's the thing, though. I just listed off the first couple things he did because this was a
Oh,
spree. He broke into a home, confronted the resident with a knife, stole her vehicle, drove to another city, robbed a bank, approached a woman in a parking lot, ordered her to get into her vehicle, threatened to kill her, stole her car, broke into another home where he stole a shotgun and shells and took a man at gunpoint to the nearby home of a senior. He threatened the senior with the gun, stole that guy's vehicle, went to another home, stole another weapon, went to a final home where he confronted a woman, pointed a gun at her, and demanded the keys to her vehicle, forced her outside at gunpoint to clear the snow off her vehicle, and then stole it. This guy. This guy who used to go by the name of Peter John Peters. His name literally used to be Peter Peters. Peter Peters.
it's a red flag.
That's what I would say. That's a red flag. That's a huge red flag.
That's a
Okay,
super
well,
red
let's move
flag.
on. The next thing we're going to talk about is the Toronto mayoral election. So enough about Peter Peters.
Okay. Well, just let me just say that I wish the Parole Board of Canada would have to house the guys that they release in their
Mhm.
guest bedrooms for a period of time. Okay, if they're letting these guys out on the street, they should have to host them in their own homes. That
That
should be
that would absolutely be fair.
a
And then
requirement
they would
of
say
their employment.
"Well, that makes me uncomfortable because I have children." And you'd be like, "Yeah, that's the fucking point."
That's exactly right. So in the new country, our parole board is going to have the people that they release that are moderate to high. What is
Regardless
it?
of how they're assessed on risk.
They have
Re
to. They
Even if
just
it's
have
low
to move
risk.
in. They're
Yep,
just going to
just
min. Move in.
you gotta stay with them for a month.
And
Okay,
if they
alright.
pass your test, then they can come out.
Exactly. I think that's totally fair. Because
Mhm.
if you're saying, "Trust us, this person is safe," well, put your money where your mouth is.
That's exactly
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, you take Peter Peters, and you hang out with him and his crazy ass mullet for a while, and if
Yeah,
Peter Peters is safe, then that's
yeah.
fine, but until
Well,
then, Peter Peters is crazy, and anybody with a name like that is not to be trusted. Now
yes, the parole board will be required to help Peter Peters integrate back into society.
mhm, absolutely. Now, the
Yep.
Toronto mayoral election.
Yes, please.
Brad Bradford says he's all in when it comes to being Toronto's next mayor.
Bradford.
Yeah,
Okay.
completely just a coincidence. It's crazy how that happens.
Is
So,
it?
J
Is it
John
though?
Tory's John Tory decided he's not going to be running, and so Brad Bradford
Mm,
is going to step in and he's gonna try and oust Olivia Chow.
okay.
Yeah,
I
and
guess that's a name that we're gonna have to look into. Bradford. God knows we're not gonna forget it. It's just Bradley Bradford.
yes, he has the exact opposite of a mullet. He's kinda got a Mr. Clean look to him.
Yeah. We'll have to look
Okay.
into him. All right. Well, somebody needs to take out Olivia Chow for God's sakes.
Oh,
Tomato, like Temu Yoko Ono. I call her Temu Yoko Ono.
well, you know what? I mean, on the one hand, I think you're absolutely right with her being Yoko Ono. On the other hand, being Yoko Ono for the NDP isn't really that bad of a thing.
Well,
No, I listened to an interview with her, that can't be censored with Travis Danraj.
oh God, yeah.
Well, she went on there and it was horrible. She got his name wrong a couple times. She was like, "Oh, well, you know how it is, Tony," or something like that. And then
You were kidding.
no, 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 no. And then it was really weird because she mentioned her former husband, who was the leader of the NDP multiple times, and every
Jack
single
Layton.
time, that's exactly what she called him.
Jack Layton.
She called him Jack Layton every single time in that interview.
Interesting.
Her husband,
Interesting.
her husband. I mean, if your husband's talking about you, he's probably just going to say lease or leasey or L baby or
Wifey.
sweetheart
Wifey. Yeah.
or
My
something
wifey.
like that. He's
Yeah.
not going to be like, well, you know what? I mean, I was just talking with Lise Merle around the kitchen table the other day. Like she's name dropping her husband.
Right? She is. And that's, I mean, yeah, that's what she does. You think she became she became mayor in a vacuum? Of course not. She rode the coattails of the ghost of her dead husband.
Yeah, yeah,
And she's
basically.
been, yeah, picked up the torch and just ran with it.
Now, having said that, I think that she has done a good job of honoring his memory with all of the stupid stuff that she did and the dumb things she spent money on and the making an
Mhm.
embarrassment of herself in front of the camera, like all just classic NDP tropes.
Yeah.
Yeah, like she's really been a spiritual successor
No,
for that
truly.
legacy. Yeah.
Truly.
Yeah.
Yes.
Somebody jumped in here and they said there was a goalie in the NHL in the 70s and 80s. His name was Pete Peters. And he played for
Amazing.
Boston. So I
Amazing.
didn't know that. I need to talk to somebody about that for sure. Now, I don't know if you follow the dairy cartel at all, Lise, but
No, what is this?
poutine cheese could obtain a protected geographical indication. So you know how when you talk about bourbon,
Right?
it has to
That's
be
specific to, yes,
yes,
Champagne in France
champagne,
has to
yeah,
come from the Champagne region of
yeah,
France.
and Glen, with the exception of Glen Breton Distilleries in Cape Breton, because that's literally the name of the town. If you're gonna put Glen on the name of a whiskey, it has to be Scottish, okay? And
Yes.
now over in Surrender Town, Hawville, they wanna get a protected name status for cheese curds, for the cheese that goes in poutine.
Poutine cheese. So to call it poutine, then you'd have to
Well,
make sure that it
I
was
think it's the cheese
curd.
curds,
Yes.
right? Now, not to be confused with people from
I don't
Kurdistan who are also called Kurds. And the fact that cheese curds existed long before even the French fucking language did, let alone
Oh,
this offshoot
oh,
of them.
Quebec did not invent the cheese curd, okay? They absolutely did not do that.
No,
And so that
no.
they're trying to lay claim to something that they didn't invent, but which is commercially of interest to them. That's
Oh,
what's
they
happening
wanna just take things from other areas that are more successful
here,
and just have it given to them? This is
right?
so off brand for them.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
Okay,
Well,
so this is yeah, oh, it's crazy. Now look, I will give them credit where credit is due. A Quebecer did invent the Wonder Bra,
is
but they
that
did not invent cheese curds.
does it have underwire? I
That's
bet
kind of
it
the whole
does.
thing.
That bastard. Let me say, on behalf of all women, that bastard.
See,
Oh
it's funny
yeah,
because
is
I'm
it a
over here, I'm like, "Well, you know what? To their credit, they did invent the Wonder Bra," and you're over there like, now all of a sudden, I'm defending the French, and you're like, "Oh, no, 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 no."
uh-huh. No. No, we're not gonna hype that guy, the inventor
Alright.
of the Wonder Bra. No, we're not. Women should be designing lingerie for women for a good reason. Yeah.
All right. Well, I feel like a little bit of male input would be acceptable.
Yes, you
Yeah.
can think what you want. Listen, you wanna make this guy, but, guys that design lingerie,
Mhm.
okay, modern day guys, that's Leslie Wexner, okay, on the Epstein list,
Yeah.
that's who
Okay.
designs
All right.
lingerie. So, let's not trust people, men, that design women's lingerie that have nefarious ideas behind it.
But you know what? He did bring in he like, the only reason why he got tied up with Jeffrey Epstein in the first place, according to the
Mm,
deposition, was that
mm.
Jeffrey Epstein came forward to him and said that he was at risk of having his silverware stolen at many dinner parties and that they needed to track an inventory of it. And that was his foot in the door with Jeffrey Epstein.
My Bubba sold silver for Berks for 30 years.
Okay.
That's how he got in, hey? That's how he got in.
According to the deposition, he had
Same
reached out
with
to
the
Les Wexner and
silverware.
said, "Hey, you
Was
know
it
what? You're hosting a lot of parties and you have silverware. There's a decent chance that some of your guests are going to be leaving with spoons and knives and the dainty little like seafood fork and whatever else."
incredible?
Yeah, yeah.
Really?
Now, I mean, I can't see any reason to doubt that in the least.
Right,
Given the fact that he gave him the largest residential building in New York and
right.
entrusted him with power of attorney over his entire estate and
Yes.
gave him a carte blanche
You
to
know
pretend that he was a Victoria's Secret lingerie model and then go around scouting for talent. All of that completely logically stems from him getting silverware inventory management.
Interesting. That is I did not know that any of that, too. Thanks so much. But it shows, like, he got in Les Wexner's orbit by pretending to be a good safekeeper
No, 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 no,
of
no. I'm
Les
saying
Wes
that's Les Wexner's deposition. Because
Oh,
Les
I
Wexner is
see.
like, "Oh, hey, you know what? I just got caught up in all this. I had no idea."
Right. But in Les Wexner's view, Jeffrey Epstein would have been, would have looked like somebody who was interested in maintaining assets, right? Because if that was his intro, you got expensive things and people might steal them. So let me be the guy to look after it. With that one intro act on the silverware, that's how he got in the door, is what
That's
it's
what Les
incredible.
Wexner was saying, and then he just said
So
that he was just
interesting.
from there, obviously, he
It just
gave him
snowballed,
because well, yeah, because I mean, you're like, "Hey, I have 3 more forks than I would have had we not met before, so please
right?
have the largest apartment in New York City." Right? I
Right.
mean, it's yeah.
Safeguard the silverware.
Yeah,
Safe. I'm gonna invite you to a dinner party at my house, too, and you can
I would love that.
I want you to steal it, okay? I just want
You
you
have
to
no
put the
idea how obsessed we are with heists over here, Lise. We're gonna talk about one today.
okay,
Oh, yeah.
okay.
We yeah. You wanna challenge me to a heist off? I
Yeah, I
am
do.
there.
I do, and you would end up with the most interesting stuff. Because, like I said, my bubba worked for Berks for 30 years, and my
Okay.
grandpa said she never, ever brought home a paycheck, ever. It was just always getting applied to her in-store credit. So people would come and have their silverware embossed, right?
Mhm.
Like, have their little christening spoons or have the whole set embossed, and they would have it on layaway, and then something would happen, okay? And there would be this item in the store
Mhm.
that nobody was paying for. And so my
Yeah,
Bible would
because
be
you're
like,
not
"Well."
gonna get some weird initial you're not gonna get the initials like GK
Yes,
on a random
yes,
spoon.
yes. And so my Bubba would be like, "How much is left owing?" And they'd be like, "I don't," at the time, $90. And she'd be like, "All right, I'll take it." And she'd start plugging away. And so all of my silverware is the most random, eclectic
That is so
collection
cool.
of abandoned goods from like the 30s and the 40s and the 50s and the 60s. It's wild. Yeah. Come over, steal my
Okay.
weird silverware. Do it.
I'm gonna try.
Okay.
I'm gonna try. I'm gonna come up with some clever way to get around the metal detector at the last second.
You
Yeah,
have to sign
alright.
an
I
NDA.
am
I don't
here
have a metal detector, but I have an NDA at the door.
alright. Okay, well, next story. Families of 3 former Liberal MPs behind Queens County wind farm that's getting $231 million in federal support. Now, everybody tells us that green energy is the future and it's the way forward and there's no planet B and all of this stuff, and they're doing it because they care about the environment. but it just so happens that the
What?
Registry of Joint Stock Companies lists Roswell development directors as Michelle Sampson, Cape Breton Richmond MLA until 2017 and former interim leader of the Nova Scotia Liberal Party; Edgar Sampson, um, and brother of Daryl Sampson, who was Liberal MP for Sackville, Preston, Chesit Cook until 2025; Mitchell Bryson,
For God's
who served as
sakes.
president of the Treasury Board and Liberal MP for Kings Hants until 2018; and Dan Roscoe, founder of Renewal and son-in-law to David Dingwall, who served as Liberal MP for Cape Breton East Richmond until
Lord.
1997 and had federal cabinet positions; David Howell, who worked for Bryzon Developments; and Steve Rogers and Ramsey Ali of Slate Asset Management, which apparently has some kind of a vague link to the government as well. Like, it
Yeah.
just so happens that
It's
while we are saving the world and making it a better place, and just happening to get a $231 million worth of financial support from the government,
uh-huh.
it's all for liberal insiders.
Yeah, it is. Of course it is. Because before they could announce this project, before this project ever had a shovel in the ground,
Mhm.
these bastards were laying the policy framework that would allow this project eventually to come to fruition. So these guys were planting seeds on their own behalf while they were serving the public. And only now are we finding out how they're poised to benefit
It's
from
just
their
a
investment
coincidence.
in
It's just
time.
a remarkable coincidence.
Well, it sure looks like it, doesn't it?
Oh, it absolutely does. Now, this whole um,
Wild.
Aboriginal rights and rights to claims to
Yeah.
land and everything like
Yep.
that has gotten a little bit spicy because the Cowichan tribe got their land recognized. And then now the Musqueam First Nations is also saying we need ours recognized, but there's a
Mhm.
little hang up in that there's overlap.
Oh, what do you
Yes.
mean?
Well,
So
okay. So
the traditional territory of one overlaps the traditional territory
yes.
of another, and
And
so now there are gonna be double claims, is what you're
well, I don't
saying?
know if it's double claims. It seems like a First Nations turf war is about to start.
Mm, that's
So, yeah,
interesting.
what happened was that, you know, somewhere along the way, because nothing was written down and everything was,
Right.
transferred
Oral
word,
tradition.
oral
Yep,
tradition for
yep.
centuries, which is not to be questioned, and we can't question it. And so now we're
Twos.
left at this conundrum where
Twos.
we have to ask ourselves, why is this unquestionably true oral tradition having
Mhm,
geographical overlaps that directly contradict each other?
mhm. Could it be that oral tradition is an unreliable unit of measurement?
Well,
Could it be that? Because oral tradition lends itself to having things injected in the immediate that benefit the immediate. So I think we can
I
question
think
it.
that's just a little bit supposition on your part, because we have been told multiple times that we need to take these literally, factually, completely correctly. And, you know, just because in the oil field, if something isn't written down, it didn't happen. I mean, you deal with anything with incidents, safety, anything like that. If it's not written down, it didn't happen.
Oh, yes. This is why I wrote a children's book.
Yeah.
This is why I wrote it, just because
Actually,
when it's not written down, it didn't happen. It's happening.
yes, I should mention that, by the way. Lise is, for those of you who weren't tuning in
Mhm.
last time she was on, is now a best-selling author in
Yes.
several categories. Uh,
Yes. A three-time Amazon best-selling author of Buck the Rainbow Unicorn. You can go to bucktherainbowunicorn.com to get one. And every child that has been exposed to trans ideation
mhm,
or gender ideation in the country of Canada needs that book. So bucktherainbowunicorn.com. Thanks.
absolutely. Anytime. Okay, so here's where the overlap actually happens here. So you've
Okay.
got the Burrard Inlet right here,
Okay.
okay, in the North Shore, and so the Cowichan are claiming this
Okay.
whole area, and the Squamish are claiming this whole area, which basically completely overlaps the Cowichan. And so
Yep.
between between the Squamish and the Cowichan, everybody's a little bit squeamish to say the least.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's a
So
tricky situation for them.
yeah, so somebody's saying, "Hey, morning from the Van Island.
Oh, hey, buddy.
Hello from the contested areas which are now involved in a First Nations turf war." So
Yeah.
I hope you're doing well with that. And the other interesting thing is that this is from a Twitter account called Table Salt. I'm just going to bring this back
Oh,
up
I
again.
love that account.
I
I
know.
do love it. Yeah, so good.
Yeah. Table Salt's talking about this on March 4th.
Okay.
The Vancouver Sun doesn't start until March 5th. The Twitter account, random Twitter account, is a day ahead of the mainstream media in terms of talking about this.
Holy Hannah. Well, yeah,
Yeah.
that's the way it happens now on
Yeah.
X.
Well,
That's the way it
that's where the
happens
news
now.
comes from.
Well, and the
Now,
mainstream media has always been really reliant on finding their stories on X after they've already developed
well, I mean, it's a lot easier than actually doing the
doing
legwork.
something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like it's weird. You hear about the stories about like all the reporters in the States are on Adderall all the time just to like get all the work done and everything like that. You're like, "Man, where can we find that work ethic?"
Just I mean, it was to stay caffeinated with a steady supply of nicotine, that helps too.
It
That
does help.
helps.
It does help. It does
Yeah.
help. We're gonna have more on that later.
Oh,
But also, I don't know if you heard about anything happening in the Middle East lately, but there's been some kind of explosive updates. Um, yeah,
right
yeah.
there.
Basically, right that spot right about
There.
there is now just a big crater,
Yep.
and so we're not going to put a whole. I feel like it would be disproportionate for us to spend more time talking about World War III than the actual time it spent to have World War III,
Right.
because it was over like that. The States came in, for those of you who don't know, blew up the Ayatollah. And then when everybody else gathered together to vote for the new Ayatollah, they threw another rocket at that. And now everybody's gone.
They tried to have a mullah conclave. Okay, they all got together in the same building to elect a new mullah. At the Vatican, there's white smoke for a new pope, and in
And
Iran, there's brown smoke for not a new ayatollah. Okay, we're still
nobody.
ayatollahless. No.
Like, I mean, we've been talking on the mashup for years about how all these politicians are hypocrites because they're worried about saving the world, and yet
Mhm.
they will always go to meet in person whenever they want to decide something rather than a
Yes,
Zoom call. And
yes.
I feel like if you're an Islamic dictatorship, maybe you need to invest in a Zoom subscription for a few of your surviving members just to spread them out of the impact zones.
I think they were scared off technology after Operation Grim Beeper.
Yes.
Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Because they knew that their digital lives were being scrutinized by Israel. They knew it. Okay, because you can look at what's happening on social media. They knew Israel was watching it. They were like, we need a new method of communication that isn't on this social media business. Everybody to the beepers. And so they went and got this what is considered an archaic piece of technology. 'Cause they were like,
Mhm.
we can't rely on the new tech. And then Kirk
And there was
Fluey.
explosives hit in them, and then 6 months
Mhm.
later, somebody in Israel hit a button and blew everybody's dicks off.
It's just like either it was those guys lost a hand or a pecker. Okay, there
Yep.
was no in between. And it was just a brilliant stroke of genius. And I could see the mullahs
Mhm.
being real nervous about any digital interaction.
Well, now they're quite literally communicating with smoke signals.
That's it. That's all they got.
That's it. That's all that's left.
The mullahs out there fluffing the burkas,
They just got the magic carpet, but they're having trouble because it keeps wanting to fly away, and oh, I hope we don't joke more about that today. All right. So
Oh.
here's from Ezra. All right. Ezra was pointing out that
Oh, my guy. Yeah.
Mark Carney did a fair bit of flip-flopping. He went through he went through more positions than
And
he went through a lot of positions, Lise.
yeah, yeah.
Um, and so in the past 72 hours, he supported the attack, called for diplomacy, called for a ceasefire,
Mhm.
said the invasion violates international law, and now suggesting he might join the attack. So he's been all over the map.
Huh.
Yeah. Yeah. Basically
Well,
taking
yeah,
every
because
stance possible.
yep, because he's unreliable and new and is on a global tour. So right now there is a communications team that would be behind Mark Carney wherever he is in the world.
Mhm.
And there's always communications fumbles between the prime minister himself, the prime minister's office, the press corps, the like it's an entire chaotic schmozzle that's
Mhm.
happening around Mark Carney right now.
And you're going to
So
have
that
games of telephone.
of course, absolutely, that is what's happened to
Mhm.
that. So you have people on different continents in different time zones trying to collaborate a cohesive response with what's happening with the United States and Israel, and nobody can get a hold of anybody in any kind of time. And so this is the predictable response: is that it's going to be chaotic and all over the place. This
Yeah.
is like this.
And they
This
don't want to
shows
all
how
meet in one place because they know what happened to the last group that did that.
well, you know, oh, that
Oh,
would I miss the me I was before even considering that thought. But let me just tell you about a meme I saw this week
you're wonderful.
that made me stop in my tracks, and it was a terrible map, and it just the legend was countries that have eaten their prime minister, and then countries that have not, and only the Netherlands was highlighted, and I was like,
Yep.
"What on earth
Yeah,
is this?"
yeah, in I think the 18th century, they got so mad at
Earlier,
their
earlier. Yep.
they got so mad at their guy that they stormed the castle or whatever he was presumably in, grabbed him,
Yeah.
and ate him.
Ate him. They ate him. There was a conflict between the rural people and the urban people, so the
That's so
elites and the
weird.
peasants, and
I couldn't even imagine a situation like that.
they ate the prime minister, and immediately when I saw it, I thought to myself, "I really miss the me I was before even knowing that was an option." Okay, I did not know
Yeah,
that was an
like,
option before this, and hmm,
can we put that on a referendum?
yes.
I mean, that's the way democracy works. What we've been showing how democracy works, especially in this country, is we don't
Yeah.
really give a shit what you think as an individual. If everybody else votes for something, that's what's going to happen, and you just need to deal with it.
Yes. Yep.
Oh,
Well, oh, what is happening, to? He fell out of his
uh-huh.
chair. Is this a
We have a puppy who has
oh.
developed a propensity for chewing on cables, sometimes when they're still attached to things. So this morning, for example, you know those little Velcro straps that are around a lot of cables?
Yeah.
She and I'm like, "Oh, what's going on, sweetie?"
What do you have?
And one of the Velcro straps that go around a cable to keep it nice
Okay.
and tight. And so anyway, there's a USB cable sticking out of the USB port on the front of my computer in case I ever feel like I need to charge my phone while I'm sitting here.
Oh, right.
And that little rascal was trying to drag the whole computer across
Just
the room.
vexed her. She
Yeah.
needed it. She needed to explore. Yeah.
Well, the first time she was introduced on an episode, I had her up and I was showing everybody for a minute, and then the episode ended when she went down to where all the cables are underneath and started pulling at things, and
Oh,
the
no.
camera fell off the
Just a little bit of chaos. Just a little
Yep.
bit of puppy chaos.
Yes. Yeah, and then Brett says, "Looks like meat's back on the table, boys." Classic Lord of the Rings reference
Oh,
regarding
thank
the,
you. Oh, thanks for
yeah.
that. I don't know Lord of the Rings references. I was perplexed by what you just said,
Okay.
Brett.
The important thing to remember is
Yeah.
that the movies are far greater than the books. I don't even
Oh,
understand why anybody sees the books. Like, sure, there's an insane amount of effort and creativity went into them, but that
yeah.
doesn't mean they're good. They're
The
like not at
books.
all.
Right.
The books. I'm gonna die on this hill, guys. The Lord of the Rings. J.R.R. Tolkien was not a compelling writer.
Hmm.
So anyway,
Hmm. He said what he said.
Yeah,
Said
yep,
what he
I'm not
said.
gonna take it back.
Um, if someone wanted to drop a Game of Thrones reference, I would probably catch that, or Breaking Bad. That's my other show that I know inside out. So
Okay. Alright,
thank
well,
you.
now I'm gonna try and shoehorn something about Jamie and Cersei into, into things there.
I'm so Cersei. Cersei is my peak character. Like I was raising babies while watching Game of Thrones,
Okay.
and Cersei was a pretty protective mother. Yeah, I
Maybe
got
a
Cersei
little
in
bit
me.
too much so.
Mm, she was
Maybe just a little bit far. Maybe
she,
just a little bit too far.
she's a
Um,
complex woman.
yeah, well, that's the one thing. There's a few things in that show where they had some really good complexity that they took out, and I was
Mm,
really disappointed. Like, do you remember in
mm.
season 2 when Tyrion got all of the metalsmiths in the city to make the giant lynx?
Yes.
And then that nothing really came
Oh my
of that
god.
in the story,
Right.
but in the or in the TV show, but in the actual story, what happened was that they pulled up the chains to close off the bay, and then when they put the wildfire
Mm.
in, they burned down that entire fleet. So nobody really knew what
So
happened,
they
but Tyrion Lannister saved everybody by burning down that whole fleet that day.
interesting. Interesting.
Yeah, yep,
Yeah,
and
I feel like yeah, there were threads that they could have expanded on and didn't. I feel the
well,
same way about the red wedding.
I mean, there was threads they could have expanded on and didn't, but also there was a few moments of pure genius. So do you remember when who's that guy from The Last of Us and Mr. Fantastic and like he's the guy who's been in Pedro Pascal.
Okay.
So his character was like an expert on poisons, and it talked about how he was
Mm,
this huge expert in poisons in the book
mhm.
multiple times. And so then he decides to be Tyrion's champion in that battle against the Mountain.
Yes.
Okay, and then what happened was that he hits him a couple times with his blade, gets him poisoned, and then
Mm,
the Mountain kills him. And then the Mountain spends the next like week or 2 weeks or whatever it was, slowly dying in
slowly
horrible
dying.
pain. Okay. So the
Oh,
Mountain had killed his nieces and nephews when they were babies.
huh.
And so he hated them and he was super mad at them. And so
Yeah.
why would a a notable expert in poisons be in a one-on-one duel and use a poison that would take weeks to kill somebody slowly and painfully?
Wow.
Well, it's because he went in there knowing that he wanted to die because he wanted that guy to die
Vengeance,
slowly and
man.
horribly more.
Vengeance.
And
Just
the
driven
nuance of
out of
that,
vengeance. Yes.
absolutely, and the nuance of that was completely scrapped in
Interesting.
the show.
Interesting. Huh, I didn't know
Yeah.
that. Food for thought, hey?
Yeah,
Food for
you gotta
thought.
read those books if you haven't. And actually the audiobooks are hands down the best, like, they're the best books I've ever read, but
Hmm.
also the best audiobooks I've ever listened to. The
Really?
guy who does them is and the people who do audiobooks are super talented. Like,
Agreed.
they're all the way up here, but
Yeah.
he is that much
Pro
further past
voice
all of
actors.
them.
Yeah,
He's that
pro
much
voice
further past all of
actors.
them. Okay,
Mhm.
right. Before we get caught up in another landslide,
'Kay.
let's talk about this one. Landslide
Oh.
at DR Congo Colton Mine kills more than 200, including children.
Oh.
70 children died in a landslide caused by huge rainfall at an open pit mine. This is where the fancy components for your phones come from. They
Mhm.
had a landslide at the mine. You're like, oh no, it killed all the workers. Yeah, yeah. And almost half of them were kids.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, well, this is terrible. This is worst case scenario. I wonder what my immediate question is, who owns the company? Who
Well,
owns the company?
apparently
Who's responsible for this?
it's they say rebels, and I'm not a huge expert on what's going on in the Democratic Republic of Congo.
Yes, of Congo. Yeah.
I'm not a huge expert, but apparently the mine was being ran by rebels. What that means,
Mhm.
I'm not sure. I don't know if they're the
Interesting.
good guys, the bad guys. I don't
Yeah.
think there's a lot of good guys over in that area to begin with, and I think it's safe
Mhm.
to say that if you've got a bunch of kids in an open pit mine,
In a rare
regardless of your
earth
stance
mineral.
on other things, you're probably
Yes.
not a good guy.
Yeah, probably not.
Now, having
Hmm.
said that, I'm pretty sure that whoever the rebels are rebelling against probably
Yeah.
have the exact same minds set up with the exact same kids. So everybody sucks.
Yeah.
Now, did you hear about the Bay du Nord oil project?
No, no, but dude,
Okay.
I want to know.
All right. So apparently in 2003, Canada signed on to a UN agreement saying that if there was any infrastructure more than 200 nautical miles off of the coast of all the signatory countries,
Okay.
they would pay just a bullshit tax to the UN, which
Oh,
has the potential to hit $1 billion. And
oh,
so now what's
a
happening?
sin tax.
Well, it's not necessarily in this case, it's for oil, but it's if you're going to do anything more than 200 miles, 200 nautical miles, I
Right.
don't know what the difference is. I mean, aside from the name, but as far as the measurement goes, who knows? Maybe they're both the same and just people think it's important to be, you know, um,
Like miles on water. Maybe that's it. You know, I don't know, but
maybe
one is
just because,
the
the
waves
water's,
to
yeah,
account for
yeah,
the
yeah, yeah. And it just screws up the measurements. So
those
anyway,
are
this is,
liquid. One is liquid miles and one is solid
well,
miles.
that's definitely it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then once you
Okay.
take into account the change of state.
Mhm.
So anyhow, yeah, if this was ice, it would only be this far.
Right.
That's
Right.
that's
We'd be
probably
paying
it.
less tax, but because it's on these, then it's more
So this is the
to the
first
UN.
project in the world that has fallen underneath this designation, and the federal
Oh,
government of Canada has agreed to pay it. And there's
yes,
a bunch.
because they're setting the tone. They're setting the tone. They're like, "We love the UN. We are going to be over compliant.
Mhm.
This is an environmental issue, one that
And then
we take very seriously." And guess who ends up paying it? Guess who ends up paying it?
the taxpayers.
Us. Yes.
Yep. Now they have a bunch of green idiots saying that this is crap. It should be the oil company paying this. And
Uh-oh.
and my stance is basically unless the oil company also signed that in 2003, they're going to say fuck off,
Right.
which they probably
Right.
should.
Yeah, they probably should, but who knows? Who knows if the oil people are also on side the UN people and they're like, "We'll just pay it. We'll just pay it." And then it gets passed down to the consumer. Um,
Well,
in
yeah,
any
one
case,
way or the other, somebody pays some idiots in Belgium.
yes. Yeah, and what return are we gonna get? It's gonna keep the UN going, the UN that has the terrible reputation that nobody trusts? That
Well, I
UN?
mean, that's the UN. Well, I mean, if we don't support them, Lise, who will?
I don't care. Here's the thing,
That's the
I
right
don't
answer.
care.
That's the right answer. Absolutely. So anyway, this is another situation where everybody sucks.
Well, everybody, that 1 billion sucks.
Yeah. Yeah, and so we're gonna pay that. Now, it's not all at once, it's not like some upfront fee. It's, I can't remember, there's like 5 years of grace, and then it goes up 1% and then 1%
Insane,
more a year until it caps out at 7. But
insane.
the United Nations, see, here's the thing about nations is that they all have one thing in common, and that's that they're on fucking land. It's not the United Oceans,
You're
okay?
you're right.
So,
You're
like,
right.
it's the one indisputably out of their jurisdiction area in the world
Yeah,
is the middle of the fucking ocean should
and
be the
they're
one
like,
place because you're like, okay, well, yeah, I get the fact that you guys are the United Nations, but no matter what nation you're talking about that you're united with, it's a long fucking way away from here.
"Yeah, yeah," and yet Ottawa's like, "Yeah, you're right, guys. You're right, United Nations.
And we
We're
signed that
gonna."
for some stupid fucking reason.
Would you like it in the form of a check or with a wheelbarrow of
Pallets of
gold
cash,
bricks?
pallets of cash. Yeah.
Yeah, like,
We don't
let
have any
us know your
gold.
preferred
Are you
method of
kidding,
payment.
Lise? We haven't had gold forever. We couldn't pay somebody with gold if we wanted to.
You're right about that. But you know what
I
I'm
know
saying.
exactly what you mean.
Like,
It's
this is a
like,
quick way to launder a whole bunch of money to the UN.
yeah, yeah, that's exactly it. And then in the meantime, you've got CNRL. So I don't know if you've heard about this one. or not in particular, but CNRL says it'll delay 8 billion mine expansion until
Of course.
carbon pricing rules are clear. You know how everybody decrying the separatists are saying that it's just creating it's going to cause investment to flee and people aren't going to want to invest.
Mm.
Okay. Even if that were true, which there have been tens of billions of dollars announced that have demonstrated the exact fucking opposite. But even if we were to take that baseless claim at face value,
Mm.
the best argument you could make is that it would be the exact fucking same thing as what we're
Mhm.
with right now.
That's right. That's right.
Right. Oh,
Yeah,
people
and
aren't
seeing
going to
our
want to invest here. Well, guess the fuck what?
yeah,
And this is
yep,
purely because of federal policies. Like it's explicitly stated. And this is CNRL. This is one of the only companies left in Canada that didn't pack the fuck up in the past decade in the oil and gas sector.
yep, and they're just looking well, they're saying they're looking for some reliability before they'll jump 2 feet in. You know, they're not completely out of the game, but they're looking for some reassurance.
Well, they just said that they need something more substantial regarding the
Yeah,
carbon costs and the methane standards before they give the
mhm,
go ahead on this. Like
mhm.
they're
Where
literally
is this
saying
project, Tooz? Where is this
it.
project? Does he
Oh
tell us?
shoot, it was called it's an area that I'm not totally familiar with, but from the sounds of it, it's somewhere vaguely Fort Mac to Conklin. I can't remember the
Oh,
name of the
okay,
lake.
okay.
It's it Jack Pine. Jack Pine. I don't know
Hmm,
wherever Jack Pine is. I could try
okay.
here real quick. If I was to look up on maps and go Jack
Oh my god,
Pine
I love
um
a map,
oil
Tooz.
sands.
Let's look. Okay,
No,
guys.
Lone Pine Supply Industry. I assume
Oh,
they that's where you buy flux capacitors. But if I go Jack Pine, um, I don't know. Oh, here. Oh, it's Husky Sunrise, which is now Sonova Sunrise. So
where
it's
is
in
this?
this general area. So you're looking,
Oh, there we go. Okay,
yeah.
north of no
So
way
you've got
north of.
Lac La Biche. Here's Fort
Mhm.
Mac, and
Start me
then
at
if you
Edmonton. Start me at
really
Edmonton. Give me an
okay,
Edmonton
all
yeah.
right,
Okay, there we
okay.
go.
So you go here, you
Yeah.
get stabbed a couple times. You follow roughly along here,
Yeah.
and then this is the 63 that goes up to Wandering River,
So
and then
look at where
also
the boreal forest hits, hey? Like, just hits solid. Yeah, about
yeah,
there. Yep.
yeah. That's where you start taking the 63 north. And
Okay.
then you go through Mariana Lake. They got a camp up there too, and all the way up to Fort McMurray. And then this on the other side, this is the 881 that goes all the way down to Lac La Biche. Okay.
Interesting.
All
Okay.
right. And
Thank
so
you.
Anzac used to have a great burger place back in the day. But if you were to drive
And
right through Fort McMurray,
yeah,
you go
and keep
up, there's
going.
the hill, you go up the hill, there's that bison statue on top of the hill. And then you've got basically you could turn left to go to Fort McKay, and you could turn right to go to Sunrise, and then later on, uh, Firebag, and there's a few other things in between there. But broadly speaking, so if it says Jack Pine Camp, Sunrise, Sonova, so that used to be Husky Sunrise. This is all slant wells. Uh,
Can
so
you is there, Street View on these maps? Like, show me
mm,
to like, the whole time you're talking, I'm like,
maybe
"We should be street viewing this."
no,
Is
no.
there?
I'm trying
No.
to grab the guy and
Too
drop him
remote.
down,
Okay, too
and
remote.
oh, here we go.
Look at this.
This is the edge of the highway.
Okay.
That's as
Fine looking
far as
highway.
Google Maps Street View goes.
We're at the end of Google Maps. That's how
Yeah,
far north
and
we
I
are.
don't
Alright.
how do I get out of this? There we go.
Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, so for those of you who love the Shawnee stories, I was with Shawnee on on this site when they were drilling some of the first slant wells. And
Huh.
so Shawnee is this guy I used to work with that completely mentally lived in a completely different world. And he was from the Middle East and just no concept of reality or anything like that. Just did his own thing, and it was awesome and weird and just a spectacle to behold. And so springtime, super muddy, and you couldn't smoke in camp. And so he would go and he would sit in the pickup truck and he would talk to friends of his running up what I assume were ludicrous long distance bills to go halfway across the world to just talk to
Oh,
people. And so he'd
yeah.
just sit there and he'd smoke kind of smoked like a Frenchman, but that's besides the point. And anyway, we're having breakfast the next morning. Like, oh, hey, Shawnee, how's it going? He's like, I think I saw a bear.
Oh.
We're like, really? And he's like, yeah, it came up to me, basically said hi. And I'm like, a fucking bear. Like, this is the middle. Like, the woman who got eaten by a bear happened like 30 kilometers away from here.
No.
Right?
Oh, no. And this
Okay.
guy is like all cash
And
about
so,
it.
yeah. And so he's just like, well, yeah, there was a bear. I think it was a bear. I'm pretty sure it was a bear. And like, it could, like, I don't know if maybe like a fox came up and it's some, like, what are we talking about here? Right.
Yeah.
And so we just assume that he's crazy and I don't know, maybe it's a porcupine or some fucking thing, right?
Yeah.
So then we all go to get in the truck and it's been muddy because it's springtime and in the parking lot was just dirt. And you
Mhm.
can see the fucking bear
Paw
tracks
prints. Yeah.
where it went right up to the door that he would have been sitting in, and then you can see where the hind legs are standing right there. It would have gotten right here on him, and he was just telling this story like it wasn't like,
Basically
"Holy
just said hi.
guys, a bear almost fucking ate me." It was just like, "Oh, yeah, so by the way, I have this interesting thing to tell you." And you look at the tracks, you're like, "How the fuck are you not dead?"
Yeah. That
It's just
happened.
he didn't even
Yeah.
realize. It didn't even
That he
occur
was
to him.
in danger?
And so anyways, that happened roughly speaking where this expansion is proposed.
Interesting. Interesting. And like for the rest of us, it's a traumatic experience. 2 summers ago, we had a bear wander through our family campground. Okay. And
Okay.
all of the kids and the husband flew into action. And I swear to God, till this day, that event gets brought up once a week in our house. Like once a week.
Yeah.
It was such an exciting moment. Nothing bad happened. Everybody did what had to be done. And but that bear encounter, that was special. Yeah. And your guy is just like, he basically said hi.
Well, yeah, yeah,
Basically.
just no concept of it. My dad, like decades ago, used to work just up in places like that as a mechanic. And this was back when
Mhm.
there was a lot more drinking and gambling and things like that.
Sure.
And so they were all up all night drinking whiskey and playing cards. One guy um gets up to go take a piss. And so he just goes to go outside. And then all of a sudden you hear this like bang. Because of course everybody carried around all kinds of guns back then too. It was like the
Yeah.
good old days, right?
Yeah. Good old days. Yeah.
And he comes back in, he's like, guys, there's a fucking bear, there's a fucking bear. And they went and they tore that whole place apart, couldn't find a bear, no bear. They're just like, you're drunk and you're stupid. And that was it. And they just mocked him for like the next 6 months about how dumb this guy was. That he thought
Every
he shot
time.
a bear. And there's
Every
like,
time.
there's no bear. There's no bear. Where is this bear that you shot? I think we'd be able to find it. And
Every
then,
time that guy went to pee for the rest of his life, he would be reminded not to shoot at things. Like, you
well,
know
for
what I
the
mean? Every
next,
time he got up from a
yeah,
table.
yeah,
Oh,
for the next 6 months,
it's so
absolutely. And
funny.
then when they packed up the trailers to move him to the next spot, there was a dead bear underneath one of them, and he was like, "I fucking told you guys."
Stories take a long time. They just sometimes stories take that long,
Yeah,
6
yeah,
months.
sorry about that,
Yeah,
sorry about that. I'll
or
try to be a
however
little
long
bit
it was, yeah.
faster. We'll maybe cut out the fact that, from the Times of India, Canada announces $100 million scholarships for Indian students, introduces hybrid study locations.
I
Yeah,
am
yeah,
s
from the Times of India. It's so weird that this stuff doesn't
Yeah,
get reported on in this country by the mainstream media.
yeah. What got reported here, what they told us here was that they were going to fix the, foreign student situation in Canada. They were gonna fix it, okay? They realized that it
We're
was a
gonna
problem,
fix it.
and they
Fix
were
is
gonna
really
fix it.
vague. I mean, you
Well,
have to agree on what the problem is before you
they
decide what.
fixed it by eliminating the program, but triple times funding a new program. That is what they've done here. So $100 million to the U of T for Indian students to come to Canada to study after they just said they were going to fix the entire foreign student situation. Yeah. That's what
Tripling
they
the
did.
funding. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank
Sure.
you. Please solve more of our problems, guys.
So there would be I this is a institution specific funding announcement. So this is only for the University of Toronto,
Yep.
it's $100 million.
Yep.
What we should all be wondering is what other universities are getting what kind of funding that look exactly like this. Because in Saskatchewan right now, there was an announcement that Ukrainian students there was an announcement that we were somehow helping Ukrainian students continue their education in Saskatchewan.
Every kid who comes from a farm in Saskatchewan is a Ukrainian student.
Well, yes, but also these are foreign Ukrainian students.
Fresh Ukrainians.
You know what? Fresh Ukrainians. And for kids that are from Saskatchewan and looking for post-secondary placement.
And also Ukrainian.
That it makes it harder. It makes it harder when those spots are already taken up. That's all I'm saying. So.
And subsidized.
Right. Why aren't we investing in our own kids' education? Why aren't we investing in our own kids' education? I think it says something that the government of Canada is funding foreign students over Canadian students.
It absolutely is. It absolutely is. Here's Mark Carney. I don't know if you remember when Polyev got all kinds of hell for not getting his security clearance.
Oh, and what have we here?
In terms of vigilance and monitoring, which we do actively and on which I receive regular briefings, there are aspects of those briefings that I can't share in public, and I'm not going to betray them.
Boom.
So Polyev,
that right there.
Polyev is vindicated. He's absolutely vindicated. And when in the lead up to the election, this was one of the main attacks that Liberals and NDP and the complete left-wing mechanism used against him. They accused him of hiding something, not getting it because he was hiding something or he was trying to protect himself, or when the whole time he was saying what Mark Carney just said.
Yep.
So.
Yep. Which also, Mark Carney tried to attack him in the debate on that exact thing.
Sure. And there's a mile-wide difference between Polyev, who was leader and still is leader of the opposition, and the prime minister of the country. The prime minister of the country should not hide behind that when he is asked pointed questions about things that he doesn't want to answer. I think that there's a different set of expectations as it comes with the office of the prime minister, and he's not cutting it.
No, not at all.
Like so much for transparency. Yeah.
All right. Now, more on the fact that we've got to go to India to get our news. This is from the Punjab region of India.
Okay.
It has not, as of this broadcast, has not been reported on by Global, CBC, CTV, Toronto Star, any of the usual suspects. Blacklock's broke this. Western Standard picked it up. Juno picked it up. And Babu Shahi. Oh, sorry, I'm not saying that right. BabuShahi.com has now reported on the fact that Sikh MP imposed fine for non-disclosure of property details.
Oh, what?
Liberal
what
Party
happened?
Sikh Member of Parliament Randeep Singh Sarai has been fined $200 for non-disclosure of his property details. He's been accused of not publicly disclosing his assets upon being appointed to Secretary of State for International Development. Randeep Sarai is a member of Parliament from Surrey, British Columbia, for the ruling Liberal Party. He has become the 10th MP from the party against whom action has been taken under the Conflict of Interest Act,
equaling several $100 in penalties.
$200.
You guys,
$200.
Could you imagine the devastation that 9 times 200 would rain down upon the Liberals? Could you imagine the kind of economic devastation that would cause them? Listen, if we want to get serious about corruption in politics, those fines have got to be absolutely out of control.
Well, they've got to be crippling. So and I would say they need to be twofold. One, that person is fined personally.
Yes.
Something to the magnitude of, like, you know how if you burn your own rock in curling, the other skip gets to say it could have gone here and done this.
Okay.
It should be the same type of rules. Well, I mean, you know all about curling. You were at the mash spiel. And so anyway, it should be something like this. You say, all right, in theory, the worst this possibly could have been would have been this, 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 and this. And then you impose a fine of 10 times that amount to him
Yes.
personally
Yes.
and to the liberal war chest or whichever party's war
to
chest.
the party. Exactly.
Because that's the thing that hurts them. That's what they care about.
That's
Is
exactly right.
getting rich and getting reelected.
Well, and it shows a great big hole in their vetting process. Because the Liberal Party, if
you think that they worry about this when they vet them?
I actually think that they worry about all the wrong things. All of the political parties concentrate on all of the wrong things in their vetting process, and this is why we get disasters like these kind of liberal MPs. But it happens in every party.
Well, every party, they kick out Sabrina Maddow because she's going to be a good representation of the people. They did the same thing with Wyatt Claypool.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, you got some big problems happening there, and we didn't even get we haven't talked to since the Conservative Party convention in Calgary in January. We should talk after the show. We are just going to plan a coffee so I could talk about this, but this is incredibly insufficient if we want to bring back credibility to our political institutions. We can't attract people that will do this, or have this go unpunished. In the new country, we'll have stocks right outside of the Legislative Assembly.
Yes, the pillories.
You're gonna, if you're an elected official that's caught doing something sketchy, not only are you gonna go broke doing it, okay, but you're also gonna spend time in the stocks where we're gonna leave heaps of rotten vegetables for the electorate to throw at you.
Yeah, and not like soft ones like tomatoes. There'll probably be a few mixed in there so that you don't know when to flinch. But we're talking a lot of turnips.
You ever dodged a frozen tomato, Tooze?
Okay,
let me tell you.
Frozen. Yeah. Actually, that's a fair point. You got to take into account that Canada spends a lot of its time cold, so it doesn't really matter what it is. It's gonna feel like a rutabaga.
You're gonna learn your lesson if you mislead the electorate.
Well, like and that's this guy the thing, is that if the first one or two are punished like that, you don't have 10 of them.
Too few politicians have been tarred and feathered in recent decades, and
I would say tarred or feathered at this point.
Listen, I would take the tar. If I had to pick one, it would be the tar, because feathers, feathers are a delight, if I'm being complete. If there's no tar, feathers are a pleasure.
Okay.
I don't want to do that to the politicians. You'll be tickled, sir. Okay, here I come with my...
It would still be more than what we're doing right now.
Actually, that would be a form of torture for some people. My feet are so ticklish that I can hardly get pedicures because I jump and kick so hard just out of being tickled. We should do that. You can have a feather duster or a frozen tomato. Throw them at your elected official.
So we've been doing this segment for the past few months where we point out just some really outlandish drivers, and mostly in this country. The odd time something happens in another area.
Okay. Oh, this was outside of Regina. Welcome to Saskatchewan.
It was. Look at that. It's just the track. It's just
this guy
and
the entire cab off of an excavator on the bottom of a bridge, which had clear height designations on the side. Okay, it was clearly marked, and this guy, an over height load, smoked it at speed, and this is the result.
Yeah, there's easier ways to change the oil in your heavy equipment, guys.
I'm just happy that there wasn't a school bus right behind him, or a bus full of hockey players, for instance. But these events are happening more and more often, it seems. Incredible.
Yeah. Well,
in my van lifing, Tooze, okay, in my van life, I've been van lifing steady since like 2020. And in 2023, there was a marked uptake in the amount of Indian truck drivers that approached my van. Okay, if I am parked by myself.
They thought you were a lot lizard.
I mean, I suppose. But I'm just in the middle of nowhere, like by myself in the middle of nowhere. And they will literally come walk through stop right in front of me, walk through the ditch, approach the van, and
I can't help but notice that you're the most beautiful woman for several hundred miles in any direction. Right?
That must be
You can't
it.
blame them for shooting their shot, Lise.
I actually can, because it's alarming anyway, the uptick in that. So yeah, of course
Okay.
we're gonna have driving disasters like this. Of course we are.
Yeah. And
We have a whole industry of bad drivers right now in the
yep.
country.
Yep. Like that's how mad Trudeau was after the convoy that he's like, "Oh, you know what? I'm going to do something mean."
That's exactly what he
And he
did.
did.
That's
And
exactly
so
what he did.
speaking of bus drivers or speaking of buses full of hockey players,
Yeah.
a guy by the name of John Manley, who used to be a former Liberal MP, wrote an
Mm.
op-ed saying man responsible for Humboldt Broncos paid his debt to society and should not be deported.
I bet John Manley isn't from the town of Humboldt, Saskatchewan, like my
I
husband is.
I didn't realize
Um,
he was from Humboldt.
and yeah, my hubby is from Humboldt, born and raised. His whole family's from there. He's related to everybody. If he's not related to him, he knows him.
Okay.
And I bet that this guy didn't consult with the families because the idea of running into this guy 8 years after the event, who was responsible for so much grief and
Mhm.
anger and chaos in their lives, I don't think that that's too much to ask for.
No.
And
No.
yet, Canada has spent 8 years dragging its feet trying to keep this guy in Canada when he could just go home. India
He
can
just
India they can have him
start
back.
just go back to your old life and we're going to try and rebuild over here. You
Yeah,
rebuild over there, we rebuild over here
yeah,
and never come back.
yeah,
And that would absolutely be the best way to do it.
yeah.
Here's Toronto. Check out this window.
Is that plastic film in the window? Is that
Yeah.
the his whole windshield is gone.
Well,
Plastic
not the
film in the window.
windshield, but the window.
Oh, the side window.
Yep. Yeah.
So
And
that's
then apparently it ripped open and he just said, "Okay, well screw it. I'm just going to keep going with it." Yeah. This is the kind of stuff that you should be able to catch on a pre-trip, especially given the fact that it's on the fucking driver's side window.
Mhm. My goodness. Nothing like a little bit of press and seal.
Yeah, exactly.
Safety press and seal.
Now this is interesting. It's a little bit suspicious because the comments are turned off. But in the UK, a
What about?
woman, and it says woman, 29 years of age, arrested after exposing herself in public.
How many people here actually believe that's a woman?
Well, I mean, I'm just gonna go out on a limb and say, see, this is awkward. There's gonna be a few moments today where I kind of wish I was sitting across from Sean rather than a lady. But
I'll prepare myself. Go ahead.
okay. I don't know of anybody who complains to the point where people get arrested when it's ladies exposing themselves.
It literally never happens. These kind of exposure crimes, the voyeurism crimes, the public sex act crimes, exclusively belong to men. Okay, exclusively belong to men.
How many
It's like women don't have those.
How many women
Don't have those.
get arrested for exposing themselves?
0%.
Mardi Gras?
0%. Free the nipple. Okay, we are in a post nipple state. Women don't get arrested for this because we're not driven by it. Men do though, and so I just wonder how that person identifies. That's all.
Yeah, I can't be sure either, and nobody's allowed to chime in because the comments are turned off. The whole thing is just the strangest thing ever. And then
that's how you know they're lying to you. That's how you
exactly
know
it.
for a fact.
Whenever the comments are turned off, you're like, I smell shite.
Well, this says a thing about the CBC and their YouTube communities, right? Like you can't comment on a CBC program on YouTube in Canada. They turn them off.
Yeah, like everything.
Politicians do this, activists do this. Yeah, if they turn the comments off,
whenever they're saying something that they know is bullshit, it's how they protect themselves. And I think if you're a politician, you should not be allowed to turn off comments.
It says everything that they do. The politicians that block comments should not be elected again. Okay, because they are
Absolutely.
actively trying to evade the truth. And at the heart of every good decision that every politician should be trying to make is rooted in the truth. Good decisions start with the truth. So politicians can't tell it, then they should get fucked. Hi, woman.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Now, we got more articles here about interesting ladies. Mayor accused of raping drunken 16-year-old at pool party, ordered morning after pill on DoorDash. Now, the crazy part about this is
What?
that's the mayor. That lady.
Oh, well. What? Okay, read
That
the
lady.
headline again. Let me just center this. I had that all wrong in my head.
Mayor accused of raping drunken 16-year-old at pool party, ordered morning after pill on DoorDash. And
The
like I said,
female mayor
that lady
raped a 16-year-old boy.
Yes.
Without protection, and then ordered her herself emergency contraception the
Via
next
DoorDash.
day.
Yes. This lady, who, despite the fact that she's wearing a very non-revealing sweater, you could tell that those things bolt on.
It's Stacy's mom.
This is Stacy's mom.
That
Stacey's
is it.
mom. This is it. This is it.
There she is.
This is the woman Stacy's mom wishes she could look like.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
So got in a romantic entanglement then with this 16-year-old boy. Okay, that is rape. And then what happened? Tell me the rest of the story, Tews.
Well,
what happened?
she got busted by her kids. It was kind of a big thing.
This was a friend of the child, a friend of her kids.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my. Okay. Well, making some real questionable life choices. Okay.
Yes, I love all the New York Post ads. Yeah, so anyway, and then this lady basically more or less immediately resigned from mayor, has one of the hottest mug shots I've ever seen. Like, you look at that and you're just like, I could change her.
Wow.
Although if you're coming at it from that angle, maybe you don't want to change her all that much.
No.
But my biggest takeaway from this is that you can get emergency contraceptives via DoorDash.
That's your takeaway.
I can't really say that much else, Lise.
Okay. This is like new Mary Kay Letourneau, which was a story back in it had to been in the 90s, 2000s, of a teacher who fell in love with his student and then went on to have leave her whole family. She had 4 kids and a husband, left that family, started a new family with the student, eventually had 2 or 3 daughters, and she eventually died. This sort of smells of that. This is new Mary Kay Letourneau.
Maybe. I mean, South Park did a whole episode about this exact premise.
Did they?
Oh, it's hilarious. You should check it out.
I've never seen a South Park episode ever in my life. I know.
It's the smartest show on TV.
Is it?
Oh, yes.
You got to be it just drops references that go right over your head until 3 seconds later, and then they land.
There's that, but also the satire is so sharp. So the premise in this is that there's this young boy who's got his younger brothers in kindergarten, and the kindergarten teacher falls in love with the kindergartner, and they have a relationship, and so he goes to try and tell the cops about it.
Oh.
And they're like, "Oh, Miss blah blah blah, the kindergarten teacher," and he's like, "Yeah, that's the one. She's having sexual relationship with my little brother." And then the cops go, "Nice."
It's like, yep, that's her.
So that's her.
Mayor.
Other interesting things in the news. Ace Ventura: When Nature Calls. Do you remember the rhino?
I don't, but tell me about it.
Okay, well, there's that scene where he's trying to follow around the warden from Shawshank as he's going around the plantation or whatever, and he's got this animatronic rhino that's but it keeps getting hotter in there, and then the fan goes out, and then he's just boiling, and he's like, "Oh, I gotta leave," and so he goes to open the hatch, but then the handle on the hatch breaks, and so then he's got to climb out the butt because there's that tiny little hole, and then there's this family looking at the jungle safari tour, being like, "Oh, the mother rhino's giving birth." And then this sweaty Ace Ventura comes climbing out the back of it.
So this is the prop that they used in the movie.
This is that rhino. That rhino is up for auction right now.
I insist we buy it. What is it at? Is there a link that we can click on?
This is the link.
There it
So
is.
actually, it was at $12,000 when I brought it up this morning.
Okay.
It's now currently at $13,000.
Somebody wants a rhinoceros in their life.
I mean, can you blame them? Like how cool, like that would just be the coolest thing ever. I can't even
I would
think
use that as a yard sculpture. 100%. I'm into weird yard sculptures, and that would be one.
Well, it would just be awesome. You'd be like, you could have it as a centerpiece in your living room. You could have a centerpiece in your dining room. Like it's the rhino from Ace Ventura: When Nature Calls.
I just want the head part of it to mount on the wall. That's it. Like a rhino head taxidermied.
No, what you'd want is like a fake Jim Carrey halfway out of the rhino's butt, and you mount that on the wall.
Just the back end. Oh my god.
Bumblebee tuna.
Could do that.
Okay.
Sure we could.
So I don't know when the last time you were in Bolivia was, but
it's been quite some time.
A cargo plane full of money crashed on the highway, scattering brand new banknotes. So brand new money right from the mint goes to take off, crash lands, money goes flying everywhere. And if you read all the way to the bottom, more than 20 people died. But apparently the big takeaway is that there was just a freeway full of money and people were running and scooping it all up.
20 people died in a plane crash in a plane that was full of money. I think that there are
plane full of money. Plane full of money. Keep your eye on what's important here. They just mention it in passing, Lise. Sure, 20 people died, but a whole bunch of other people got to have a bunch of money fall from the sky.
Is it completely normal to have cargo planes stuffed with money? Yes or no?
Well, I guess that depends on whether or not your name is Barack Hussein Obama. But for me, it isn't.
Well, like arms deal, like this looks like an arms deal that accidentally got derailed.
No, it was a government plane right from the mint. So it wasn't an arms deal thing. It was
well, that's what comes back in the plane after they drop off the money, you see.
Okay. All right. So you know what? I guess, and especially with a place like Bolivia, you kind of question the validity of stuff like that.
Sketchy third world situation. Yeah, that's exactly right. Hold on. Let me yell at my dog. Thunder. Shh, please.
Well, at least Thunder's living up to the name. Although if you're worried at all, it is very faint.
Is it? No. She's scratching on the door. I accidentally locked her in and the kids came home for lunch, which vexes her because she knows that there's food that's being dropped on the floor right now. So she's just over here, like furiously pawing at the door, making little pleading noises with the kids to open it for her. But hold on. Can I just be excused for 30 seconds while I go open the door for her?
Okay. I'm going to start talking about the nightlife in Ottawa. So you're going to want to get back as soon as you can.
Okay. Give me just 10 seconds.
It's all good. We're great, Lisa. Yeah. All right. So for those of you wondering what's going on with the nightlife in Ottawa, it sucks. It's lame. It's gay. It's retarded. CTV News brought on this guy on the morning show. I don't know why it's got the subtitles over top, but this dude is the nightlife mayor, the nightmare of Ottawa. And he looks like he is probably the least cool person in the accounting department. That is the nightmare of Ottawa. I don't know why the letters are up on top of it, and I don't know how to make it go away. Believe it or not, CTV fucking sucks. And so anyway, they're talking about all of these cool things that they can try and do to boost the nightlife. And at no point does anybody suggest, maybe just be cool. Like, just don't suck so much. Don't be a place that, like, you had hundreds of thousands of tourists come into your city at one point, and you tried to kick them all out because they were up too late being too loud.
Yep. No. But that's if they want to increase nightlife. Just a couple weeks ago, we were in Calgary, downtown Calgary, for a whole entire weekend. Mm-hmm. And the way that the decisions that City Hall made that really uncomfortable. You have bike lanes, okay? Entire downtown cores dedicated to bike lanes that nobody uses because there's no
Yep.
parking. It's
Oh, yeah.
not convenient.
Yep.
You don't have alternate transportation to bring people in from far away. You don't make it convenient for them. You make them pay. You make them download the apps. It's you want to improve nightlife? Get out of the fucking way. Excuse my language.
Well, that's exactly it. Like, what if you guys just talk to some people who want to do nightlife stuff and you just ask them what sucks and then just don't do that thing?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Although, I mean, you literally are a city full of bureaucrats. So if you ask them what kind of things they enjoy doing, it's imposing arbitrary tariffs on stuff that comes from Saskatchewan, right?
That's exactly
And so
right.
maybe you could turn that into, like, I don't know, a game night thing where
Yeah.
you could have like that skee ball, but it has tariff written on it, and then it has the prairie provinces as the holes.
Right.
And
You
then
could do that.
you absolutely do something like that, right?
Yeah.
And, you know, maybe the big jackpot, if you ever win the jackpot at the arcade, ding, 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 sweet, I won. And then the big thing comes up on the screen that says, Quebec thanks you for your donation, right? That's what you should do in Ottawa. You just absolutely embrace the fact that it's a bunch of bureaucratic, blowhard,
Yeah.
fuddy-duddies
Yeah.
who make
Who
bad
have
financial
created
decisions all over the place.
who have created the atmosphere that doesn't support nightlife or anything
At
fun
all.
happening
At all.
there.
At
No.
all.
No.
Like that was their nightmare. And he looks like a fucking nerd.
Yeah. Yeah.
And do you know why? Because he probably is a fucking nerd.
Because he probably is. Yeah, because the shoe fits. The shoe fits.
The
But
shoe
you know,
fits.
I really love a little part of me, like the Western part of me, really loves the little story where something happens in Ottawa and they're like, oh, this is going wrong. And I'm like, right. Welcome to the club.
Yeah, I mean, that was probably one of my favorite parts about the convoy was how mad the people in Ottawa were. They're like, can you believe the audacity of this? They're shutting us down. We've got to stay in our homes. And you're like,
Insufferable
sorry,
assholes.
wait a sec. You're mad because
Yeah.
because some other distant part of the country has arbitrarily done something that is making you stay in your home?
I remember looking up on the Ottawa tourism website events that they were running at the same time the convoy was there. So listen, if you're coming to their, I don't know, their stupid pomegranate festival or whatever events, special events they were running for the season.
Was that an actual thing?
No, it was, well, they were running some events. I don't
Okay.
remember what they were, but
Yeah.
it was something. It was something
Yeah.
stupid. But instead of looking at all of those people and treating them like guests,
like opportunities,
right? Like tourists that we appreciate, they treated them like criminals and invaders. Like it's grotesque. Ottawa is grotesque. I can't wait to divorce all of them. Can't wait.
Oh, I mean, I said it a
Insufferable
couple weeks ago,
assholes.
I wouldn't be the least bit surprised if Ottawa starts or if Ontario starts a petition to separate from Ottawa.
Wouldn't that be funny?
Oh, it would be hilarious.
We'd like to excommunicate this land area.
We'll give it to Quebec. We'll give it to New Brunswick. We don't care. We just want it gone.
Just First Nations.
Yeah. You guys want to, Cowichan? Maybe we can't give you all the land. We can't give you all the land, but we'll give you that whole fucking place.
There is a land claim that actually, like right now, that's happening through Quebec and into Ontario that does include the city of Ottawa.
Who the fuck would want it?
I mean, here's a cesspool. Enjoy your cesspool.
Like I'd rather take like a literal landfill, like a literal actual landfill.
Yep. Well, that's useful. Landfills are useful.
It is.
They have a job to do, whereas everything in Ottawa is gross and broken.
Mm-hmm. All right. Okay. So, apparently the paywall came up on this after, because I closed it and then reopened everything after I finished the notes. But Palantir and other tech companies are stocking offices with nicotine products to increase worker productivity.
So smart. I mean,
you go into the break room and you can get whatever nicotine pouches you want. Yeah.
Look at this. This is my vape that Tooz knows about. Look at it matches my outfit.
Well, she bought it from Vape Vault, so yeah.
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 Look at this.
And apparently, if you work for a tech company, they'll give you as much nicotine as you want.
Yeah, because if you want people
This
to
is
be
America.
productive, productive people use nicotine, and that is the end of it. It's amazing. If I owned a tech company, I would have these in the break rooms. Sure, I would.
Well, you know, the one brand you wouldn't be able to have, though, is Tucker Carlson's nicotine pouches.
Tell me why.
So, again, New York Post can fuck off with all these advertisements. But ex-Fox News host Tucker Carlson took a major hit last week when a multi-million-dollar load of his ALP nicotine pouches vanished in a hijacking in Los Angeles. They did a heist of Tucker Carlson's nicotine pouches.
They stole them right off the back of a truck.
No. They went in with the truck and a fake ID, had the people from the warehouse load them all up, and then just disappeared.
Like they did a fake, they rented a truck. They made a fake ID. They just walked in there with a clipboard and said, "We're here for this
Yeah.
delivery."
And it all got loaded up, and then they disappeared, and the transponder went blank after a while. And so Tucker Carlson's offering a $100,000 reward.
Well, I can't wait to see what happens.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
We love a good heist on the Mashup.
Yes. I mean, who doesn't? Who doesn't? And obviously there's some value in it, because if there wasn't, they wouldn't have stole it. How much was it worth? Do we know how much it was worth? Sorry,
it said, let's see here, a multi-million-dollar load.
Okay.
I don't know if it said the exact
okay, value.
378,000 tins. So if you're assuming $10 a tin, that's like almost $4 million. But I don't know if that's correct in the States.
Holy Hannah. That's a lot of nicotine.
That's a lot. I feel like maybe he should just check in on Palantir and see if maybe they had something to do with it.
Watch their stock performance, just as an indicator of what they're currently up to.
I mean, you look at their books, you'd be like, okay, well, you guys have this program where you have unlimited nicotine pouches for the people working there. Yes, okay. Well, how much money did you spend on nicotine pouches last year? None. Why?
So weird.
So, and then I don't know why it just so happened that there was all kinds of nicotine pouch news this week. Dale Nally wrote a letter to the federal government asking them to do away with the nicotine pouch ban, at least in Alberta.
Okay. Yeah.
And I mean, the strongly worded letters, I think we all remember the Jason Kenney days. They didn't really go anywhere, but at least somebody's trying a little bit. And the funny thing is, like, we'll have at least 2 or 3 times a week, someone will come into the store, ask if we carry them.
Right.
Because it's all black market now. Like they didn't just restrict it to the pharmacies, which ended up being the most happy coincidence ever for Galen Weston. Again.
Interesting.
Oh, the only place you're allowed to sell these is pharmacies. And it just so happens that like probably half the pharmacies in Canada are owned by Galen Weston. You don't need to give him $12 million fridges anymore because you handed him a cartel.
That's right. That's exactly right. Yeah.
And then at the same time, though, there's illicit stuff all over the place. Like we don't carry any of it, but there are so many places I know of that do.
Is that right?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So, anyway,
well, and it also doesn't help that the competing products, the only competing products in pharmacies were Nicorette and Nicoderm. Remember those old school
zines or Zine or whatever it is, that you can only get in like 2 different flavors of mint.
And they're gross. Like they're disgusting. I didn't like them at all. Like there was something wrong with it was not a pleasant experience. Like it should be like nicotine. It should be a pleasant experience. But the companies Nicorette and Nicoderm and the companies that already had their finger in the market are also lobbyists of the federal government to keep out, anti-tobacco lobbyists. So they're just, I mean, this is so gross. It's so open the market. If people want to give it to them, they'll decide. The market will decide.
Absolutely. The only nicotine pouches that are legally allowed to be sold in Canada are the specific brand name of Imperial Tobacco.
Interesting.
Yep.
Interesting.
It just so happens. It just so happens, right? Now, I'm a little bit mad about this. I found a neat story about a herd of feral cattle on a remote island near Antarctica
Nice.
and how they survived there for like 100 years. A family from, I want to say, the Netherlands tried to start up a farm there.
Yeah.
And then after a year, they were like, fuck this. And
Yeah,
they
too
just left
harsh.
5. Yeah, yeah, because it's an island in the middle of nowhere. And
Yeah.
they gave up. They left 5 cattle there, and nobody went back for 100 and some years because
Interesting.
it's the middle of nowhere. Like, it's basically equidistant between Australia, Africa, and Antarctica. And
So
when
super remote.
and when people
Super
came
remote.
back, there's this thriving herd of cattle.
Amazing.
And so the governments got involved and they did the logical thing and they killed them all.
Here I'm like, that is incredible. These animals that are perfectly adapted to live in these conditions
Have been
didn't
living
even
there
need
for a century.
human intervention, didn't even, were domesticated, but then easily, seamlessly went back in the wild because that's what they're designed to do. My God, they are incredible creatures. And they got rid of them. Did they?
Like,
Did they?
yeah, let's have some fucking steaks. And
This
so,
is
yeah,
so
they
gross.
killed them all off.
Why?
Apparently, though,
Why? Wait, why?
well, they
Because of
were
an
worried
environmental
about
concern?
but here's the thing: is if they've already been there for 100 years, I feel like the environmental concerns aren't exactly warranted at this point.
Right.
But
They're
it
not
was
creating some new
they were
situation that we
they
need to
were
be
worried
alarmed about.
about the vegetation on the island. But if the vegetation on the island hasn't been killed off after 100 years, I feel like it's probably going to be okay.
It's probably going to be all right.
See, it was designated
it's almost
a
like a
UNESCO World Heritage Site is kind of the problem.
Oh, piss off.
Yep.
Oh, the United Nations. Just disgusting. Just disgusting.
And so anyway, I don't know what happened to this article in the last hour, but it was up when I was putting everything up. And then
I bet it got some attention if this is just a new story that everybody's getting on.
Well, yeah, and then also apparently there is another remaining herd of feral cattle on an island just off of Alaska. Like where Kodiak Island is underneath the armpit.
Is that right?
There's a tiny little island right next to it. And they've got a herd of feral cattle as well.
Huh.
And so I can't tell you guys about it because the article's gone.
Well, we should really worry about those cattle. Don't tell the UNESCO people, okay? Or they will declare it some sort of area of international significance and probably fly a helicopter over with them.
Yeah. They'll get the same people who are getting rid of the feral pigs. Okay. Now, I don't know what you know about the WNBA.
Hardly anything, but I want to. Go on.
That's the right amount. So this is the WNBA.
Or just having meals.
No, not even for 3 meals. She was like shopping at Erewhon though. That was the issue. Stay away from Erewhon. Fuck that place. Actually, I love Erewhon. Sorry. I'm like, that's a treat for me though.
That's
I'm
crazy.
like, my contract is $70K. We cannot be doing that is more than my salary.
Crazy.
That is more than my salary.
Yeah.
So for those of you wanting a little bit of context, this is a lady from the WNBA talking about how she hired a personal chef for $7,000 a month. Seems fair. Until she actually points out that she makes $6,500 a month.
That seems there must be some other income in that household. She also mentions Erewhon. Do you know what Erewhon is, Toos?
It gave the impression, I don't know, but it kind of gave me the impression of a really expensive place to eat. Super
ultra luxury grocery store.
Okay.
We're talking like a little clamshell of cranberries that have been blessed by a shaman. Okay. And then whispered sweet nothings and then packaged and sold for $40 at Erewhon. Okay.
Oh, wow.
Everything. It is crazy, super high-end prepared groceries. And that's what she's talking about there.
Well, that's, I guess, where her chef was shopping.
That's Listen, for $6,500 a month, that's groceries
No.
in, bitch.
7,000. 7,000.
Sorry,
She made
$7,000.
$6,500 a month.
Oh, $7,000. If I'm paying a chef $7,000, that's groceries in. Okay, grocery. You must buy the groceries with that kind of money. My goodness, that's just for time.
Yeah.
That's the sweet gig if you can get it.
Yeah, well, apparently she doesn't work there. She had to let her go because it was too expensive. Now, I don't know if you saw this, but Indigenous ancestral remains found on Ontario property could cost this couple $319,000.
Mm.
So they were doing a straightforward renovation of their cabin, and then,
Hit
well, it's in Ontario, and they call them cottages for some stupid reason.
chalet.
Yeah.
No chalet.
So then they get a call from the foreman saying, we got a little bit of a problem. We found human remains. So then the cops come. They think it's a crime scene. They do a little bit of looking. Nope,
Right.
nope. It's worse. It's ancestral remains. It's some old ass skeleton. And so now they are on the hook to foot the bill for the archaeological dig, to get the blessings by elders and all of that stuff. Them saying something, if nobody had said anything, this would have just gone away. But because they said something, now the owners of this property are on the hook for $319,000 worth of archaeological analysis and interring and whatever else of these ancestral remains.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, this makes you always think I should have just had a shovel. I should have just started with the shovel and not brought in any contractor. And if I had done this work myself, maybe we wouldn't be in this pickle. But this is actually not unheard of. This happens all the time in Britain that has, 4,000 years of development in a very, very small space. And this happens all the time there, where somebody will want to add on a sunroom, okay, to their little house in the Cotswolds. And next thing you know, they're
I don't
sitting
think we
on
can
a
say that word on the show.
Cotswold.
There it is again.
The Cotswolds, and they will stumble upon like an ancient Anglo-Saxon cemetery, and then they're on the hook for the costs. So, I think there is an argument to be made for just doing your own digging. Just do your own digging.
I'd say that's pretty fucking fair. Now,
Yeah.
here's I don't know. Have you heard about the gopher wars?
What is it? Oh,
Why gophers are the root of a turf war between Ottawa and the prairies. So,
they banned
Ottawa
strychnine. Yes, sorry.
Ottawa
Yes.
decided, yes, that's exactly right. Ottawa decided that strychnine was no longer allowed to be used on fucking gophers.
Yeah. For
Okay?
anybody that doesn't know, strychnine is an incredibly potent poison as it pertains to gophers, and was relied upon by Western farmers for the last 60 years. And then Ottawa came in and said, hey, no more of this. We got concerns and stopped Western farmers and Westerners in general from being able to deal with these pestilent little rodents.
Yep. Yeah. So these little fucking bastards that you shoot every chance you get, that anytime you see one on the highway, you try and run it over, you do your part to keep the gopher population down. Unless you're in Ottawa, in which case you decree by stroke of a pen that the effective way to manage the gopher population is off the table. And so Danielle Smith and Scott Moe are trying to push back on this, and at least like by a couple of years or something like that. But some bureaucrats in Ottawa who have probably never even seen a fucking gopher in their lives. Have you ever seen how fat they are in Moose Jaw? Like if you ever go to that moose, right?
Yeah. We have Mac the moose, yeah?
Yes, Mac the moose, who was the tallest moose in the world and then got beat out by a few inches by that moose in Norway. And then they took the antlers off, put on slightly larger ones, and was able to reclaim the title of largest moose in the world. If you ever go into the shadow of Mac the moose, those gophers are like fucking furry balloons.
Yeah. Gophers at tourist spots often are. They're the best fed gophers on planet Earth. People feed them, and then they get plump as little badgers there. But but make no mistake, they're rodents. Like they are gross and destructive.
Yeah.
And
they're like badgers with T-Rex arms at that point.
Yeah. Yeah, vicious things.
Well,
yeah.
I mean, I was in Fuerteventura, which is just off the coast of Morocco. It's in
Mm.
the Canary Islands. And,
Mm.
well, so I was in Lanzarote, and then they're like, "Hey, do you wanna go on a tour of Fuerteventura?" And I'm like, "You mean a place that says difficult journey? Yeah, sure, I'm in." Um, and so, anyway, and then they were talking about how, like, there's this, species of rodent that got introduced, like this exotic species of rodent that got introduced, and then they just took over the island because there's nothing there.
Right.
Okay, and I'm like, "Okay, cool, so this should be interesting." Like, I wonder if they're gonna wanna bite us or, like, what's going on? And so the
Yeah.
tour bus stops, and everybody gets out, and there's just gophers as far as the eye can see.
Really?
Yeah, I was like, "Who in their right mind would introduce fucking gophers?" But not only that, they're talking about these exotic rodents, but keep in mind that there's an ocean between us and them. So when they're
Right?
talking about exotic rodents, we're talking about fucking gophers.
Yes. Yeah.
It'd be like if you went to, I don't know, some African zoo and they're like, "Oh, behold the majestic Canada goose." You'd be like, "Motherfucker, did I just pay 78 fucking
Yup.
Botswani dollars to see a fucking goose?"
Sure did. Sure did.
Yeah.
But that would be exotic from people that don't know what a gopher is. For instance, there are advertisements from the 1870s and 1880s and 1890s where they lured people from Europe to come to Canada to be blessed with this amazing gopher population. You can live on gophers. That is how many of them there are. And the
Really?
people in Europe were like, a gopher. Could you imagine? We'll just go hunting gophers and we'll live on those. And then they got here and came to understand what a gopher actually was, that it was a rodent, that they had been hoodwinked. Yes.
Oh,
Yeah. They talked about the plentiful gophers that people would find when they get here, not knowing that that
they're
they would have
fucking big.
envisioned something else. Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's why the whooping crane almost went extinct, was because you could literally just go up to them with a fucking stick and bonk them on the head, and there's
They're
dinner for the
so
night. And so you think
they're
about it, like
so
if you're a
dumb.
settler,
Yes.
but if you're a settler and you've got a handful of cattle and a handful of pigs and a handful of chickens,
Yeah.
right? You don't necessarily want to kill them every time you want some protein because you're trying to build your herds up.
Right.
But hey, there's this flock of really stupid fucking birds.
They don't even hardly move when you approach.
Yeah, so you just go up, thunk,
Yeah.
and that's why, like, they got down to, like,
Interesting.
108, it was the estimate of how many whooping cranes were left back in the day.
Interesting.
Yeah, and it's because they were fucking dumb. They're basically just slightly better than dodo birds.
They didn't run away.
Yeah. Oh,
Oh,
here, I gotta handle this. Two's release, have you been to the Torrington Gopher Museum? Abso-fucking-lutely I have.
I don't
The
even know
Gopher
what you
Hole
guys are
Museum?
talking about. What are you talking about?
Okay, so call it, I don't know, ballpark an hour and a half northeast of Calgary.
Okay.
There used to be a train line that went through there, and then when the train line got decommissioned,
Yeah.
I wanna say, like, the early '90s, but don't quote me
Okay.
on that. They were like, "Well, what the heck
What are
are
we
we
gonna do?
gonna do
How are we
with
gonna bring
this?
people here? Yeah.
Yeah, how are we gonna bring people here? And what are we gonna do with this train station that's of no purpose at all anymore?" And so
Totally.
the story is that apparently, because I talked to the lady who curates the museum for like an hour. She was absolutely wonderful. And the story apparently is that someone in the back was like, "Well, we got a million fucking gophers around here. Maybe we can come up with something to do with them."
Amazing.
And
And they
then,
went, "Yup.
yeah,
Yup."
and so the whole thing is like just a whole bunch of murals
It's
of
amazing.
taxidermied gophers doing all kinds of interesting and weird things.
Incredible. I have no
Yeah.
oh, that would be so right up my alley. I love some good art taxidermy blend, like that
Yes.
full on creative business. Are they wearing little costumes?
Yes, they have all kinds of different costumes. They're doing all kinds of different weird things and stuff like that. I
I'm
love it.
telling you right now, I would love it so much. This is right yes, right up my alley. That's an incredible moment though, that they had this opportunity, they have a fresh slate, and they're like, "We need to do something," and it was like that first amazing idea that just sort of landed. That's awesome. Incredible.
Yeah. Yeah, and so, I mean, gopher's easy to find, and then they just got
I
somebody to do the taxidermy on them, and they're
Sure.
doing all kinds of different poses and all kinds of different situations.
I gotta go.
Oh, you got to.
Gotta
You got
go.
to. It's wonderful. I took Mrs. Two's there one time. Uh, she's like,
Romance.
well, because she's like,
Romance.
every time we get a chance to do anything, it's always something that I wanna do. So I tell you what, Twos, she didn't say twos, but she's like, "I
Yeah.
tell you what, twos, today we're gonna do whatever you wanna do." And I said, "Okay, get in the car."
That's what you picked.
Yeah, and she's like,
It's so
"Okay,
amazing.
where are we going?" And I'm like, "I'm not even gonna tell you. I'm
And
not even gonna tell you till we get
you
there."
just went on an adventure. On an
And then
adventure.
and then we get there and she's like, "Are you fucking serious?" I'm like, "Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah."
That is the best. It was romance. Okay, that is a I mean, what woman wouldn't love being taken to a museum of taxidermied rodents?
I don't
The
know, I mean, that's
romance just oozes out of that
that's
story.
love. Like, I
Oh my
wanted to share that
goodness.
with her, and I did, and it was
Yeah,
magical.
I love it.
And then every time I suggest, "Hey, we should go back there," I get that look that kind of just like, I can't even do it because 'cause I'm not a chick. Actually, you know what? Like, as far as the transgenderism goes, okay, you wanna prove that you're a woman? Give me the look like I just said something offensive, because guys can't do it. But you know that look where you're just like, I don't know. Yeah. Anyway,
Right.
that's the Gopher Hole Museum, and I hope to go back again someday, but I don't think I'll be able to take Mrs. Two's because she knows where it is, and as soon as we started driving down that road, she'd be like, "We're not fucking doing this. I will jump
We'll
out of the car."
we'll plan a mashup field trip then.
That would be awesome.
That would be
There
that
and
would actually be
they
amazing.
they do have a
What
thing where
little
you
town
can
is it? What little town is it again? Tell
Torrington.
me. Does it have a campground? Can we just figure out a campground near there?
I mean, Bisker has a campground, and they've got the giant skunk there.
Say less. Put it in the book for this summer too. That's what we're doing. Mashup field trip. Yep.
Well, they actually have a thing where they say, "You know what? Just ask us if you're interested in commissioning one of these." So, like, you could get your own. And so I always thought it would be neat if I did like a mashup
Wait,
one.
you could get your own what?
Uh, your own diorama of gophers doing whatever you want.
Oh my god. Don't. Like I went like absolute I'm thinking of birthday gifts. Okay. Sheila Gunn Reid loves a weird thing. She loves a weird thing. And
Okay.
a tiny taxidermy gopher. Her birthday's in July. It's happening. Like
No,
we're
okay,
making this
but here's
happen.
the thing, is it's not a gift that you would just take and give to her. You would do a thing of Sheila Gunn Reid as the
Oh,
gopher holding a microphone, I don't
in
know,
the
with
museum.
and it would go in the museum.
It's happening. It is 100% happening. It's happening. That's what we're doing, Twos. Okay. We're making it happen.
Okay. Well, I guess we gotta give give them a call. But
Yeah.
in the meantime, you may not know this about the country of Oman, but they have beauty pageants for camels.
Yep.
And the problem that they've run into lately is that people are injecting their humps. They're artificially inflating the size of the humps in the beauty contest. Except it's not my humps, my humps, my humps. It's a camel's humps. It's
Yes.
Allison's camel.
Yeah.
And so they also artificially inflate the size of the lips
Yeah.
and stretch the nostrils. So this is they actually in this year's beauty competition for camels in Oman.
Mhm.
I'm saying this all with a straight face. They
Yep.
had to kick out 20 of the camels because they had been given various forms of plastic surgery, Botox to smooth their faces, inflating the humps, the lips, the noses, all of that. 20 camels got kicked out for getting plastic surgery. Now, the interesting thing is that the rating, they look at their heads, their necks, their coats, and their humps. So that's where all of the plastic surgery took place. So nobody worried about doing their knees, their elbows, the camel toes, anything like that. It was all just
Oh.
It was all just the superficial stuff up top.
Yeah. Camel breeding is big business in some parts of the world. And
Yes.
the breeders will do nearly anything to get their camels to show well. In camel shows, actually, the world can be split into two distinct categories: camel countries and horse countries. Okay, and
Yep.
if you just think about the amount of money and effort that's put into breeding horses, take that times it, apply oil money to it. Okay, oil money to it, and then put it on
Well, it is
camels.
Oman.
And this this is what you're going to get. I love how they have beauty pageants for camels, but their women are under burqas. Like, I think that's the most telling part of this story.
I mean, it's hard to rank camels in order of attractiveness if you're just putting them underneath a big tarp.
Listen, if you put the women and the camels together, which one is more attractive? And these guys would be like, I'm not sure, actually.
Well, it kind of depends on the humps.
It all comes down to the humps. It all comes down to the humps. We all know it. Lovely lady lumps.
Okay. Now I don't know if you saw this video making its way around the interwebs or not, but
okay.
this is the CEO of McDonald's eating the big arch. Just watch how natural this guy is. He's just easy in front of the camera. Everything flows. He obviously loves the food very much.
Chris K here with, you've heard about it, here it is, the Big Arch. This is something that we have tested already. It's in Portugal, Germany, Canada. I love this product. It is so good. I'm going to do a tasting right now, but I'm going to eat this for my lunch, just so you know. So here we go. First, holy cow. God, that is a big burger. We've got a very unique kind of sesame poppy sort of bun on it. We've got 2 quarter-pound patties, a delicious Big Arch sauce, and of course some lettuce. So, there's so much going on with this. First of all, let's try to get this thing, I don't even know how to attack it. Got so much to it. Oh, there's also some crispy onions on here as well. I see those kind of coming out. All right, the moment of truth.
Look at the size of that bite.
You just got a little bit of bun there. Just
look
tiny.
at that. Look at the size of that bite.
Yeah, well, he's watching his calories, obviously.
Well, very obviously. Yeah, and then he says afterwards, he's like, "Oh yeah, well, I'm not gonna eat it all on camera, but I'm gonna eat the rest of this burger for my lunch." And meanwhile, like, he's just looking like, look at what his eyes are doing. He is not enjoying this at all.
No, scientifically describes it. Look at we've got 2 types of seed on this bun, and then we've got 2 patties and some lettuce. Do you remember the brilliance that McDonald's advertising used to be? Big Mac McDLT, a quarter pounder with cheese fillet of fish, cheeseburger, McChicken, and McNuggets, tasty golden French fries, regular and larger size.
Lettuce,
do you remember
cheese,
how
pickles,
brilliant?
Onions on a sesame seed bun, all that stuff.
And now we got this guy. This guy. Boring fuddy-duddy in his, don't you love his cardigan?
Hey, he looks like the fucking Nightmare of Ottawa.
This guy has been told that he's going to be held hostage until he takes a bite of the burger that they're selling.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, like this is like when you're trying to get a toddler to have 3 more bites.
Yes. Yeah. Just one more bite. Just one more little bite.
That doesn't count. That doesn't count.
You know, this guy is like, I don't like raw onions. In the background, he got the actual burger. Are there onions on this? There's always a person in the family. We've got 2 of them in ours. Are there onions on this? And if there are, then you're not touching it. That's what that guy is doing. Yes.
Okay. And then so this kind of started this Burger Wars thing.
That's a good listen.
See,
that guy dove in.
That's the guy who runs Burger King, right?
Oh,
and then you've
got Listen, I want to see the
I gotta pause
mayonnaise
this here
and the
real quick.
ketchup up the sides of your list. That's how
Yeah.
you got to get into a burger, boys.
Here's the guy on for Wendy's. Big
So,
hefty bite. He's
yeah,
saying good. Takes another couple bites and then
get some nuggies,
a Frosty.
y-
This is a guy.
fries in the Frosty.
Look at this pause. Look at this screenshot compared to the dude who's.
Isn't that saying something?
Oh yeah.
Isn't that saying something? Yeah.
Yeah. And then I saw
Grimace.
this meme and I thought it was hilarious. It says Grimace is holding a gun to that guy's head. And he says, "Are you loving it yet? Say that you are loving it." And then
Where's the Hamburglar? That would be such a great job for them. Grimace is also great, though.
yes.
Throw back to McDonald's awesome branding of this.
And then Arizona Iced Tea. I don't know if you ever hear anything about the CEO of Arizona Iced Tea.
No, but go on.
The guy who's just like basically, fuck you, we're not raising our prices on our iced tea. It's delicious. You can deal with it. I love this product. He lives and breathes Arizona iced tea. And that's why they always have the price printed on the can, is that nobody can fuck around and make the price go up.
I didn't know that.
He loves the fact that it's cheap and delicious. And so
Right.
Arizona Iced Tea account says, get you a CEO who actually loves their product. And you're like,
Amen.
yep. Yeah, that's
Amen.
exactly what you want.
Yeah. I want to
Now-
see the Chick-fil-A. I want to see Chick-fil-A's.
I had Chick-fil-A for the first time ever
CEO.
yesterday, and it was phenomenal.
How did you get Chick-fil-A where you are? How did
I
you
was
get
in
Chick-fil-A?
Calgary, and then I told, because Mrs. Twos is a mail order bride from the south, right? And I was like, hey, I'm gonna be like 2 blocks away from a Chick-fil-A. Should I get something for you? And she was like, are you fucking kidding me? Yes.
Yes. Immediately, yes.
And so I
And
went there.
Chick-fil-A is the most pleasant fast food experience that you'll ever
It was
have in
so
your life.
good, like
Is it-
everything from top to bottom. And I was like,
Right?
hey, so yeah, I'm just kind of new. Like I've never been in one of these before. What's going on? Like I didn't do drive-through. I like actually went and walked
Went
in.
in?
Yeah. And then he's like, oh, well, welcome. And this is this and this is that. And then I order some stuff that looks pretty fucking good. They asked me what kind of sauces I want. And I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, well, is that made with real Chick-fil-A's? You know, the Chick-fil-A sauce. And then I get the food. And then they threw in a warmed up chocolate chip cookie. It was actually probably chocolate chunk cookie. And
Welcome.
I was like, hey, I think maybe you guys gave me the wrong bag. I didn't have because you open it up and check it, because they fuck you at fast food, because that's what I'm
Yeah.
used to. Open
Let
it
me
up and
guess.
check it. There's a cookie on top. I'm like, hey guys, sorry,
Chick-fil-A.
I've got the wrong one here. I didn't order a cookie. And they're like, no. You've never been here before. We
Welcome
wanted
to
to give you a
Chick-fil-A
cookie.
family. Yes. Welcome to the Chick-fil-A family. It is unreal
And
how
meanwhile, yeah.
excellent they are to their guests. Truly.
Well, yeah, you go to McDonald's and they're like, "Hey, here's your food," and then you go to grab it, and they're like, "Just kidding." Smush it. Here, now here's your fucking food.
It's not too much for customers to want to feel appreciated by the businesses that they're going to. And Chick-fil-A,
so rare. It's so rare that
since temporary foreign workers took over our entire food industry.
I don't think they're temporary at this point, but continue.
Okay. Sorry. After our entire retail food network in Canada was changed in the last 5 years, that level of relationship between the customer and the company doing the completely gone. And so amazing. I'm so happy that you had a great time. I have an excellent, because we didn't have Chick-fil-A's in Canada. This was strictly a US thing until really recently. I have an excellent knockoff recipe for Chick-fil-A chicken.
Nice.
You could make it in your house. If you wanted, I'll send it to you too.
That would be wonderful.
Okay.
That would be wonderful. That's great news for me.
Mhm.
But let's get back to bad news about
Please.
McDonald's.
Please.
Because they had a bad week. Farmer banned from McDonald's after using drive-through in horse and wagon. The young lady at the first window was very excited to see the horse in the drive-through. He said the young lady that was handing me my food at the second window thought it was great. But the fast food chain's manager was less thrilled, telling Hatch that farm animals were not allowed in the drive-through. One thing she was very clear about is what happens if they shit in my drive-through and there's no one to clean it up. Hatch added that he and his horses have been 86th from McDonald's. There he is. He took his horses Cole and Onyx. Look like some big, nice Belgians, if I'm not mistaken. To Powell, Wyoming, to pick up horse feed, and decided to pick up a burger and fries at McDonald's. And there's the McDonald's drive-through he went to.
And the evil manager said, "Keep your wagon and your horses
away from my burger establishment." Where the fuck do you think the ground beef comes from?
Where do you think the eggs come from?
Actually, you know what? I think that's probably being a little bit unfair, because he would probably be fine with a sawmill coming through.
Right.
Yes. Thank you for supporting us.
Thank you. No, this is a sad state of affairs. I mean, there was a point in time where you could take any vehicle through a drive-through and they wouldn't bat an eyelash. I knew guys that took a canoe, that like portaged a canoe over top of their heads through a Burger King drive-through, and nobody said
awesome.
Boo. Right? Just ran with it over there, took it to the Burger King, got it off of the truck, put it over their heads, ran through the drive-thru. Nobody said nothing. It was a hilarious moment. Everybody lived. And instead, this McDonald's is going to get bad press for the rest of its life for poo-pooing the people that do the work.
For poo-pooing the small off chance that there was some poo-pooing.
Right. And McDonald's. Have you seen a McDonald's parking lot lately? Not exactly the cleanest place on planet Earth.
Yeah, and not exactly a bustling metropolis. Okay. No. But as bad as things are in this world, there are some things that are nice.
I don't want impeachment! I don't want them to serve time! I want them taken into the city town square, hung from their ankles, and not that from my country! Not that from my country! And not that from my country! Here's the thing! I don't want impeachment! I don't want them to serve time! I want them taken into the city town square, hung from their ankles, and not that from my country!
Anyways, that's almost all of it. But oh man, is that not wonderful?
That's
of the liberal. Oh. Sorry. That's yeah. All right. Yeah.
That's all you can do when it comes to these people. They are absolutely unhinged. The only thing you can do is laugh about it. Just this last week, too, just like on a little personal note, a crazy trans activist suggested that what should happen to me for my beliefs is that I should have my legs torn off my body. Dismemberment is what they want for me. And they say this in public, right? Like,
really?
These are unhinged people. Oh, yeah. And this person actually tagged Pierre Poilievre in this threat for me. So I just love that it happened publicly. But these people are not well. They're unhinged.
No, they
putting
aren't.
it to music. Ooh, just beautiful.
Yeah, it's great. Like, the thing about it is you need to show exactly how crazy these people are.
Beautiful.
You have to. It's what I've been saying about the gun control stuff. You know, the fact that they banned the Buttmaster and plane mounted machine guns. And Black Rifle Coffee and airsoft guns. You don't need to try and convince them of the intellectual merits. Right. You just need to point out how fucking dumb everybody is.
Yes.
And so we need more of that in the world. And then a few other things that are great that are happening right now. The Cardinals, so St. Louis. So shout out to both our listeners, St. Louis, Jack, and Vance. The Cardinals are introducing a ticket package starting at $29. That includes bottomless soda, hot dogs, chicken tenders, bratwurst, nachos, fries, popcorn, peanuts, chips, and ice cream.
I would take all 4 of my kids here.
For $29?
I'll take all 4 of my kids here. This is New Disneyland. Where did you say this was, Twos?
St. Louis.
In a heartbeat. That is an incredible marketing plan. Yep.
Oh, well,
$29 for chicken tenders and a game
$29.
and all
No,
the
no, no,
drinks
no.
my kids.
Bottomless soda, hot dogs, chicken tenders, bratwurst, nachos, fries, popcorn, peanuts, chips, and ice cream.
It sounds like Disneyland to me.
Yeah, and they named it, of all things, after the Liberals' negotiation strategy in terms of international agreements and union arbitration. They're calling it unlimited concessions. Okay, more happy news. Jumbo perch caught through the ice should break 44-year-old state record. The original state record in North Dakota for the biggest perch was 2 pounds 15 ounces. This one came in at 2.99 pounds, which gets rounded to the nearest ounce, which would make it 3 pounds, which would break the record set in 1982. Look at that. That is a perch. That is a 3-pound perch.
That's a big buddy. Yep. That's a big buddy that came out of that lake. Good for that guy. That guy's hey, this is his obituary photo, guys. Guaranteed this is going to make the obituary photo. Yeah.
You know, it's funny when I don't know if you've ever seen women online complaining about how like the dating profile pictures are always guys holding fishes or fish. And you're like, well, yeah, that's the happiest that man will ever be in his life. Do you want to see what he looks like when he's happy? What are you doing?
And then I'm holding it like a man holds a fish on the internet.
Okay.
Yeah.
But the thing about it is you want to see a picture of you like, what do you look like when you're joyful? That's it right there. Look at how happy that guy is.
Yep. I want to see his family photos now, the one with his wife and kids, and we'll see a much different guy.
Well, I mean, it looks like he's got a wedding ring on.
He's delighted.
So, but there's not really much about his family there. Yeah.
It's a happy man.
Oh, yeah, absolutely ecstatic. And then other happy news. An Arkansas man accused of killing his daughter's alleged abuser wins GOP sheriff's nomination. This is a guy who is currently on trial for killing the dude who was in mid-attempted sexual assault of his daughter, who had been released on bail after sexually assaulting his daughter.
Mm-hmm. And then he found them together again.
Killed the dude.
Right there.
If he's convicted, he won't be able to serve as sheriff, but he did win the vote with like 63%.
Yeah, it shows that the public sentiment is on his side as a dad and protector. And I think that's freaking awesome. In the United States, unlike here in Canada, they get to elect their law enforcement as well as their judiciary. And his local community is saying they have his back on this. Even with his pending charges and pending trial, they're putting their money on him. They're saying what they're saying is that they want a guy like this to fight the crime in their area. And fair enough. I would vote for protected his family. Like
So Aaron Spencer, if you're out there, I assume, some guy who just got or just won a nomination for sheriff in Arkansas probably listens to this show every week. So congratulations.
Yeah. Well done, bud.
Now, if those of you in southern Saskatchewan are looking for part-time work, the Saskatchewan Roughriders are looking to hire somebody part-time to be a mascot performer underneath the costume of a guy we know as Gainer the Gopher.
Who wants to be our new Gainer the Gopher? Tell me about the requirements, Choose. Tell us about the requirements.
You need to learn, embody, and adapt the Gainer persona while maintaining brand consistency. Engage with fans through nonverbal interaction, including high fives, hugs, dancing, cheering, and posing for photos. Perform in front of large crowds during on-field activities. Represent the Saskatchewan Roughriders at community events, appearances, and special activations. Maintain high energy, enthusiasm, and creativity throughout each appearance. Create memorable and positive experience for fans at every interaction. Work collaboratively with game day staff, marketing, and community teams to support event objectives. Show initiative and act with appropriate independence. Collaborate with handler to maintain fan and mascot safety.
Mm-hmm.
especially during the Labor Day Classic.
Yeah.
Prepare for all games and events by reviewing scripts, run through cues, and rehearse performances. Put Rider Nation and the fans first at all times.
Is there a part where they're going to say, people of minority groups will be prioritized for this? Is there any DEI in here?
Well,
Tuesday?
there's nothing in it, although in all fairness, when you're wearing a full-on gopher costume, the term visible minority kind of tends to lose its meaning.
You never know.
And let's
You
be
never know.
honest. Let's be honest. Gophers in Saskatchewan are not a minority.
They absolutely are not a minority. A new gainer. Okay, so you'll have to, people from Parkbeg are encouraged to apply.
Yeah. Anybody around Lumsden, for example, Craven, that whole
Yeah.
area.
Yeah. Get in there.
I would say anybody south of Crake.
Agreed.
Yeah.
The friendliest place by a dam site. Any place south of there. This is an incredible. I mean, there's nothing really more Saskatchewan than Gainer the Gopher. And their last Gainer the Gopher, or one of the previous Gainer the Gophers, the guys that played him, was there for literally decades. Like he
Well,
just
why would
he
you ever
agreed.
quit that? Like
He
you would
agreed to do
literally
it
get to
and-
the point where Gainer would need a walker.
Yep,
You'd never give that gig up.
He said it was like the best job of his life, like the honor of his life. And so whoever gets his job is just going to be extraordinarily lucky. I mean, they're going to get a view of the best part of Saskatchewan.
Oh, absolutely. And like, I wonder, do you have to be like secretive about it? Like, can you
Or can
tell
you
people
tell
that you're
people?
Gainer?
I don't
Or do
know.
you have to be all like Bruce Wayne?
I actually don't know if you can divulge it. I wonder if it's
Like,
part of the contract.
Just imagine you're coming home after a hard day at work. Oh, hey, honey, how was your day today? Oh, yeah, it was fine. I was just cleaning toilets.
Yeah.
You know, like, why are you so secretive? Where are you going? And then she'd be like, I think he's a spy. I think he works for the government.
So weird.
No. He's Gainer the fucking Gopher.
That's right. And he just could never tell you. It's gonna be. It's gonna be.
I don't know. Like, is that? It doesn't say that. It doesn't say that you need to maintain confidentiality or anonymity or anything like that. But I do wonder, because you'd think that the guy who plays Gainer would be someone who would be on every radio show at least some point in the preseason.
You would think so. However, they already talked about the successful applicant having to abide by the brand identity. And so I don't think that that's part of the Gainer brand. Like the Gainer brand isn't a verbal brand. We don't know what Gainer says, and we don't know what Gainer thinks. And that's what makes him universally beloved.
Actually, you know what? That's a really good point.
Yeah.
But at least, you'd be able to, like, could you put it on, I don't know, your resume, past experience, confidential, right?
People
like,
are gonna get
well, what did
see.
you do at your last job? Well, I had it for 20 years. Okay, well, tell
Right.
me about it. I can't.
I can't say anything.
I can't.
I'm sure you'd be able to say something after. Like I'm sure you're not, bound by an NDA forever. But I think that there probably would be rules around what you could say in public. Yeah.
Well, I mean, and maintaining the brand is kind of tricky. Like, Harvey the Hound, who's the Flames mascot.
Okay.
Okay. He was left-handed for a while, and he's not left-handed anymore.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yes, that's the thing that you would
'Cause-
notice.
Well, because I'm left-handed, so I always notice when people are
Are
left-handed.
you a lefty too? Are
Are you?
you?
Yeah.
My
you?
youngest son is a lefty.
Oh, awesome.
He is awesome. His little brain works in mysterious ways.
I've noticed over the years that I'm wired a bit differently than most people too. Yeah. But yeah, so anyways, I see him like across the Saddle Dome one time at a game, and I'm like, holy shit, that guy's left-handed.
Amazing.
And then last season, I think it was, I was at a game, took one of the Rugrats, and I'm like, he's not left-handed anymore.
Interesting. So they got a new guy in the costume.
Yeah. Yeah.
A
I
new
mean,
guy
I'm
in the
assuming a
costume.
guy.
Is
'cause
he
it's
on
Harvey.
skates? Is it on
Yeah.
skates?
I think he puts skates on at some points, but like he's up in the crowd and stuff too.
Oh, okay.
a
Okay.
bit, right?
Huh. Interesting. Maybe the ice mascot is different than the
That's the thing. You don't even know how many of them there are.
Right.
All you know is that
even the
they've got to
army of
make
'em.
absolutely sure that you can only see one of them at one time. But they probably do things where they'll be like, "Oh, he's over here," and then he ducks
This
around the corner, and "Oh, he's over there."
I think this makes sense that they would have multiple people work in the costume at the same time, because you'll see
Yep.
those videos on occasion where the mascot will do an elaborate cheer dance, like an absolute crazy off the hook performance with the cheer team, with the
Yep.
hype team, and you go, "Oh, that's not the normal guy in that costume." Like,
Maybe it
certainly
is.
not.
Maybe it is.
You think it's just a cheerleader that does other stuff? Maybe.
Well, it's a guy who does other stuff that sometimes cheerleads, maybe. I don't know. But I
But you
imagine
think
there's a bit of a bleed over.
Yeah. Yeah. Interesting. Anyway,
But yeah,
good luck to
so
whoever gets that gig.
absolutely. We'll be
Big
cheering for you
shoes to
over
fill.
here.
Yeah,
And
big
then
shoes
now
to fill.
this is huge. I'm gonna show you this.
What?
Wait for it.
Jewel?
Wait, are we?
Yes, we are.
Shiny.
I was hoping you'd say that.
What is this?
Lise, you're killing me here.
What
Do you
is
not know what that
this?
is?
I don't know. I just have zero context.
So
The
that's
only
Nathan
I had-
Fillion. Nathan Fillion, who's from Edmonton, by the way.
Okay.
All right. He was in a show with Jewel State, who is that lady in the picture or in the
Okay.
video. And it got canceled after one season quite tragically.
Oh,
Yeah, it had Gina Torres in it, Alan Tudyk. It had one of the good Baldwin. I can't remember. I want to say no, not Steven. Not
Alec?
Alec. No.
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 Who's the other one?
But yeah,
No,
and then
the other
he
one.
was also in Chuck. That Baldwin had Morena Baccarin in it. Tell me if anything's getting warm. They had a low budget, and so they used a bunch of extra costumes from the Starship Troopers
What
movie.
was it called?
It was
What is
written
this
by
show
Joss
called?
Whedon. It was called Firefly. You're killing me here.
I'm
And
sorry,
then when
buddy.
it got canceled, it was and then when it got canceled, they actually managed to make a movie out of it to just kind of wrap up the storyline because everybody was so mad that it got canceled. It was an
Oh,
incredibly well done show, interesting, just phenomenal.
so
And
one
it
season, cult following. They cut it after one
canceled.
season. Everybody's upset, and so they needed to make a film.
And so
to tie
they
up all
they
the
managed
loose
to
ends
do
of
a
it.
film, and it was a pretty good film. I actually saw it in the theaters before I even knew that the show existed, actually. Like, it totally passed me when it first came through. And then, now, you've got this video, and Nathan Fillion's got clips with Gina Torres and a bunch of the other people from the cast
Okay.
saying, it's time. We got to do this again.
Oh, I see. So they're sort of like teasing a reunion of sorts.
I don't know what's going on with it.
Okay.
But I mean, like, it had Summer Glau in it as this absolute kick-ass crazy lady.
Well, there you have
here
it.
we go. Here we go. Kevin helping me out. Kevin's kind of like the unofficial
Adam
baby.
Baldwin.
Adam
there we go.
Baldwin.
The other Baldwin. The least famous Baldwin. Poor
The
that
best
guy.
Baldwin, though, I would say.
Is he?
Well, I mean, he's murdered less of his co-stars than the other ones.
That is a truly complex family. Yeah.
Yes.
So
absolutely.
what I know, honestly, like going into that, I don't know any of these characters. I don't know the shows you're talking about, too. I don't know anything that's going on. But when she opened the door, that's her front door is my exact front door. I have that exact. I went, ooh, she got
No
great stuff.
way.
Yeah. Go back and look. It's a beautiful front door. It's really, really nice.
Well, I mean, how crazy is that? Hey, that's your front door right
Like
there.
on
Same
there, I was
glass
so
and everything?
distracted because of that front door. We have a different glass in ours, but it's exactly the
And
same.
then,
Yep.
so I'm showing you this clip, and you're like, Are you at my house?
I thought it was, oh, I ripped my shirt. I just
Oh, no.
noticed. I did think it was my house for a second, but then it was too clean and there was no kids inside.
Oh,
She
yeah,
didn't
yeah.
trip
That's
over
always a giveaway.
She didn't trip over band instruments or sports equipment or winter gear or boots or discarded lunch at the front door. Like, I knew that it wasn't my house for all of those reasons.
Okay, yeah, that's fair. Yep. Okay. So, anyways, that's the happy. Like, there was a bunch of happy
Oh.
news, but that was a bunch of it. The Firefly being teased as a return. At the same
coming
time, I'm
back?
like, don't give me hope. Don't give me hope.
Right. Don't get my hopes up for something you can't deliver on.
Yeah.
Did
So
have you looked to see if they have a contract or if they're filming or
this just got teased. This
Oh,
this
okay.
is breaking
Okay.
news.
Well, they're not teasing nothing too, so I think that you can be hopeful.
No. Because here's the thing: is they teased with a whole bunch of these people.
Right.
Like here's
Like a
this.
campaign.
No,
It's
okay,
a
so
teasy campaign.
it's like this. Ready?
Are we doing this?
Oh, we're doing this.
Wait, are we?
Yes, we are.
Has the day finally come?
The day has finally come.
Does this mean it's time?
It's time. So, it's happening. Oh, it's happening.
Get ready, bud.
I knew it would.
Are we doing this?
It's happening.
It is happening. It's
Look forward to it.
yeah. You can't put all of those people together in that exact run of things and it not be happening.
Right.
Okay, it's happening. This is a big deal. This is, I mean, here you got in the comments, Firefly best show ever.
Really?
Right?
Really?
Now, to be fair, see, here's the issue I've always had with Firefly is that it got canceled before it had a chance to suck.
Yes.
Okay, so like you look at Dexter. If Dexter had been canceled after season 1, you would have been like, it was a phenomenal show. What were you
Right.
doing? Why did you cancel it? But if you let it run its course, you're like, I can't watch past season 4. It just sucks too much.
Huh.
Okay. Same thing with Prison Break. If it got canceled after 1 season, you'd be like, this was a perfect show. It was perfect. It didn't have anything that wasn't amazing in it.
Yeah.
Because it never got a chance to suck. I think, if I'm being honest, that's why everybody loves Nirvana so much and why they love Hendrix so much and why they love Amy Winehouse so much is because they never got to be 45-year-old overweight.
They never got to jump.
Lost their voices.
And the creative arc of the show never got to the jumping the shark. You know what I mean? They never got to jump the shark, which is when it's all just over. Remember Happy Days? That's how Happy Days ended. It's Happy Days? Yeah. Jumping the shark.
Happy Days was a bit before my time. I remember there was reruns of it on. If I got home from school early enough, there was still reruns on. But I barely ever did because I lived right next to the bus driver. Like he was just across the road from us. And so I was
you had the longest
up,
bus.
last one dropped off.
So
like I spent about 2 minutes less on the bus per day than he did.
You were junior bus driver, basically. Deputy bus driver.
It would have taken me less time to walk home than it did to take the bus. That's how bad it was.
So you never got to see Happy Days. I had a little bit of Happy Days.
I see just a little bit of it if I got home early enough, and I was very young.
Yeah. Well, there you go. Well, I'm delighted that you Firefly fans are looking forward to this. I might have to look at it. Where do you watch it? What app is it on?
I know that you could definitely find it on the high seas of the internet.
Oh, okay. Okay. I'm just going to Google it.
It's probably I've seen it jump around a few different streaming services over the years. I'm not sure where it is currently.
Okay. How old is this show? Like when would the original have aired?
2001 probably.
Holy Hannah. So it's a long
maybe 2002.
Okay.
I think so. The movie that came out was Serenity, and I think that was 2005.
Interesting. So this is a 20-year revisit.
Yeah. Okay. And thank you.
Oh,
thank
Disney
you,
Plus.
Jamie,
Thank
Kevin.
you.
Disney Plus.
Thanks, buddy.
So yeah.
Okay.
Now, sadly, we can't do that in Canada because Christopher Freeland got us all to cancel our Disney Plus memberships.
Right. Nobody can afford it anymore.
Mhm.
It's $8 is $8.
Yep.
That's an apple.
I can't believe this economy. I can't believe this economy.
Isn't it dumb? It's
Like,
dumb.
that's almost 2/3 of a banana.
True story. $8.
Do you have any
that keeps
idea how
away-
many spoonfuls of Kraft dinner I could buy with $8?
Yeah, almost half a box. It's wild.
Oh,
But true story. $8 is $8, and we're not laughing at it. But yeah, okay. Disney Plus. I'm gonna look for it. Thanks,
all right.
buddy.
That's basically it, Lise.
That's
So-
our show.
Thank you so much.
Oh, buddy.
Sean owes you big. I owe you big. This has been an absolute treat.
Well, I'm so happy to have been able to help today. Sean, I hope you have a great time in whatever
Panama.
festering third world nation you're in right now. Hope you make it home safe and sound. And Tuesday, I always love hanging out with you. I just can't. I always,
Absolutely.
leave hanging out with you. Just can't wait for the next time. So thanks so much for
Completely
having
agree.
me on the mashup. Yeah, it's been fun.
All right. Well, you take care of yourself, and thanks for tuning in. Oh, wait. Jamie's never going to forgive me if I don't say
Oh,
that there is the Joe Mayer Memorial Family Ice Fishing Contest this weekend at Regina Beach from 11 to 2. $5,000 in prizes, and
Ooh.
any kids who get in also get a free pass to the water park there. Wait for everything to thaw before you use it. But
they have a fantastic water park at Regina Beach. That's awesome.
I've never been. Now, if you want to ask me all about Lake Diefenbaker, I can tell you what you can catch and where. But I never really did a lot of fishing right around Regina.
Oh, it's fun. It's beautiful. Regina Beach is beautiful.
Anyway,
that whole valley
all right.
system.
Well, thanks again, everybody, and we'll see you guys next time.